everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Let me go ahead and send out the Discord ping a minute. Okay. That should be Discord good to go, right? Yep. And then I'm gonna go and close that. Indeed, we are. So, how's your week been going? So, it's been an interesting few days, since I last streamed. Let me see. Where did I put that? There it is. So, Sony Game Show happened, State of Play. That, like, Midnight Walk game looked kind of fun. The, like, Claymation one. I own their previous game, Lost in Random, so maybe I'll try playing that at some point. Hell is Us. I like the world design, the combat seemed fine, but it was an interesting world design at least. Metro Awakening VR game. Looks kind of interesting. I played a fan game that was a Metro VR game, and it got taken down after I played it, like a week or two after I played it, because they wanted to release their own Metro VR game, I guess. The original's been reworked into like a copyright-free version of the game, and expanding on some of the mechanics and stuff. I think I own that on Steam, or it might be on my wishlist or something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see if it was better than that fan game, since I remember playing that. Certainly looks like there's more stuff to do in it, but yeah. It's interesting to see the Pal World trailer with the... especially with the Nintendo stuff still going on. Whereas they're still being sued and everything. They're still pushing forward with, like, you know, putting the game on, like, PlayStation and everything. So, interesting. Hitman VR. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I don't know. It looks alright. It'll be fun to see a couple of people play that. There's a couple people I can think of that I would like to see play that. Same with the Alan Wake DLC. Overall, just okay. Nothing great. Well, there were some good things. There were some good things, but there was a lot of meh in there. There's nothing really stand out, you know? There was no, like, Bloodborne is coming to PC. There was no, like, I don't know. Yeah. Silk Song, I don't know. Whatever. But, yeah, there wasn't anything like that. Too crazy. A lot of remakes, a lot of remasters, which is fine. You know. That's whatever, but... I don't know. It's just kind of, eh. It's alright. They tried to push the, like, PS5 Pro with, I guess, different colors. I'm not sure how, like, making the PS5 Pro green is supposed to help me, like, get over the price of, like, $1,000 or whatever. For that and the controller and the everything that goes with it. But, there is one thing that looked kind of cool, which was the PS5 Pro that had the old like PlayStation stylings, especially with color the controller, because the controller had the like, you know, old style of like colored buttons and everything. That looked kind of cool, and I think a lot of people just wanted the controller. But I think there was literally a queue to buy those, and those were sold out pretty quickly after the announcement, so whatever. It's not like I have any particular nostalgia for PlayStation in particular. If I want to feel like I'm playing a PS2 or something, I'll just go walk, like, I'll slide my chair over like 2 inches and like put on the turn on the PS2 I have right there. It's like, whatever. What else? What else happened? Oh, I had a whole My Hero Academia rant. I ranted to no one in particular about the ending the other day. Keep in mind, the ending for the manga came out like weeks ago. It just randomly popped into my mind, and I got annoyed by it. And I started ranting about it, like full hand movements and everything, to just like nobody, just to myself pretty much. Basically, the ending has Deku end up without any powers, and as a teacher while having grown distant with all of his friends. A friend of mine was saying that they thought it was interesting because they like depressing endings even though they had never watched or read My Hero Academia, to which I said, your French is showing, because they're French. It's not that you can't make Deku a powerless teacher at the end, it's just, like, it's not handled well. The time skip is abrupt. They completely dropped the main romantic interest without any fanfare or payoff or anything. You could have easily done like 5 chapters of an epilogue showing everyone just like how they ended up with stuff, especially since one of the main appeals of My Hero Academia, in my opinion, was all the side characters and how they felt like well fleshed out and everything. Like, just make it from like one of the kids' perspectives. Have them hear about their parents like build up Deku and like what you can see what's everybody's going on with everyone now. And then the final chapter is their first day at the academy with Deku's class. That doesn't even change the fact that he's like a teacher. It doesn't change the fact that he's powerless. It just, you get to see what's going on with everybody. You get to see that like they still have some connection with Deku. He doesn't like drop off the face of the earth and grow distant with all of his friends, you know. And like you get to see that he's still happy doing something that's related to like heroes. It like comes full circle, right? Because he becomes a teacher for the next generation of heroes, right? And so he gets to pass on the lessons and wisdom and stuff that he learned during his time as a hero. It like comes full circle, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, but like no, we have to have a bittersweet ending. Hero endings are too nice. We can't just give the readers a nice send-off for the characters. Like, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, and what I said to the French friend, is that you can do a better bittersweet ending. This one just wasn't well thought out or executed well. Like, it was done in, like, with a abrupt time skip. And, like, we just see him, like, kind of depressed as a teacher with no powers. And, like, the main romantic interest has, like, is not brought up at all. It was just like, what the heck is going on here? Why is it... Why... It is a complete tonal shift from, like, the rest of the manga, too. Where it's, like, things are challenging and, like, they're hard. But it's still, like, an uplifting and hopeful story. And then at the end, he just ends up, like, with no friends, no girl, working a job with no powers. Anyway. But yeah. It makes me wonder if the anime will change anything. Because of the backlash and the reception to the manga's ending. So I wonder if the anime will change how they end things just because of that. It'd be interesting to see. That does happen sometimes. Like, I think, well, it's Tokyo Ghoul, like, has a completely different ending. Well, not completely, but a very different ending depending on if you're watching the anime or reading the manga. I think, from what I remember. I've only ever read the manga for that series, so I never watched the anime. I've seen some clips of it because, you know, the sad music or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I kept up with My Hero Academia for 150 some chapters, and then it just kind of fell off. I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. I'll put it down for now, and I'll come back when it has more chapters. Same thing with the like spin-off with the anti-heroes or whatever, the vigilantes spin-off. I read a good amount of that too, but I just didn't finish either of them. They're alright. Like I said, the character designs were good. How they did side characters was good. I just didn't really care much about the overall plot and the like main characters too much. Especially Deku, he was like, eh. Deku was somehow the least interesting character in his own show to me. I think a better manga anime that does better with that is, oh shoot, I'm blanking on the name now. Urumukun, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. That one's also got a similar vibe to it, where you have a human that ends up in the demon world at a high school, and like the side characters are like really, really good, but the main character is still interesting as well, and you can kind of see how he changes and like grows throughout the like longer period of time. So, and that's also still got some action in it. It's got great character designs. It's got moments of levity. I think it's a good parallel to My Hero Academia overall. And that one's done a lot better, I think, at making the main character different. Kiryu would destroy everyone in My Hero Academia. I don't think that's the case, no. From what I remember, My Hero Academia, there were people who could literally like burn people alive with their powers. So no. No. I mean, I've only seen Kiryu. Keep in mind, I've only seen Kiryu in Yakuza 0, so maybe he gets more crazy later. But unless he starts shooting out Kamehamehas, I don't think he's gonna stand a chance against a lot of the people in My Hero Academia. Sorry. Okay, let me go ahead and get the game started up in a minute. I think that was everything I wanted to talk about. State of play, and then I don't know. I was thinking about the My Hero Academia thing. Figured I'd talk about that while we wait for people to get in a little bit. Go ahead and open up the game now. Oh yeah, one other thing I guess I didn't talk about, but I should maybe mention. ReFantazio! The demo came out the other day. Oh gosh. That's loud. I have downloaded it.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
I will be playing it not this weekend, but next weekend.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
So the plan is for that. The demos is a prologue or whatever for ReFantazio. It's like the first couple of hours of the game or whatever. And so what I'm gonna do is this weekend we should be finishing up the main story content for Reload's DLC, episode I guess, and then next weekend we'll probably do the Joker fight, but that'll probably only take Saturday. So I was wondering what to do Sunday, but that works out perfectly. So this weekend we'll finish out like the main story of the DLC probably, and then next weekend we'll fight Joker, and then we'll I don't know, we'll just start on ReFantazio. You know, play the, like, you know, first few hours of the game with the demo and everything. Check that out, and then we can transfer that progress over when we start the game properly when it comes out the week after that. So, that'll work out pretty well, I think. That'll be fun. It'll be interesting. Anyway. Looks like it, yeah. Okay. After seeing my companions off, I concentrate and find everyone's locations. I've been trusted with the task of providing support to everyone else. The ability to disseminate information among them all will be key in navigating through this twisted labyrinth. Since I cannot fight directly, I need to help everyone as much as I can with my own abilities.
Are you all okay? I don't sense any enemies nearby, so please concentrate on regaining your strength.
Right. Ow.
Are you okay, Fuka-san? You were only rescued a little while ago. Is it okay for you to use your persona so soon? Thank you. I'm all right. I'm sorry we dragged you into this.
Chie-san is concerned about me, though I'm sure that she has been badly hurt herself.
We just screwed up. We're really thankful you guys came.
In any case, let's recover as quickly as possible so we can go after Labrys and the others.
Yeah, I agree.
Without warning, one of the caskets in the room opens with a creak and a tall man steps out of it. Was Theodore just in there this whole time? He was just hanging out in one of the caskets, vampire style? What? Theodore, why were you hanging out in a casket? Blue clothes, silver hair, golden eyes. Who in the world is he? I can sense his power, but I feel no hostility from him. He doesn't seem to be a shadow.
Ah! A ghost! Ah! Why are you screaming? We're the ones who freaked out!
Oh, I apologize. I was caught in the moment.
Those clothes. They're very similar to the dresses Margaret and Elizabeth wear.
Ah, so you are acquainted with my sisters. I am their younger brother, Theodore.
Elizabeth? That really strong girl with the book? What's her family doing here?
Well, my sister has given me a task, so I've come to the world outside. But along the way, I sensed the presence of Elizabeth nearby.
And that's how you came out of this coffin? What kind of horror flick did we walk into? Elizabeth is close by? She's tremendously powerful, but I don't sense her at all.
Oh, she is most likely hiding her presence, so as to not hinder your journey. But I am certain that she will be watching over a battle around here. As evidence of this, please look here. There are potato chip crumbs in the bottom of this coffin, and in her favorite flavor.
He followed Elizabeth here based off the fact that there was cinnamon on the ground in this town, and now potato chips. Is Elizabeth just like a messy eater?
Well,
Was
if
she
anyone
just-
was gonna eat potato chips in a coffin, it'd be her.
Was she just hanging out in this coffin eating potato chips while we got beat up or something earlier? Probably.
These guys are putting kind of a damper on the urgency of this situation.
I like the local variety with the beef flavor. Oh, I can't get enough.
Oh gosh, Chie, please. Please contain yourself. Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you have like demigod-like status. Like people just kind of run around. They're just like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Entertainment. Your life and death struggles are humorous to me.
Can we stop talking about potato chips? Theodore, right? We haven't run into Elizabeth.
At least not recently.
Yes, it seems I was just a tad too late. It's all right. There was merely a little something I wished to ask her.
What's that?
Oh, Art. This is how Theodore's story goes. While out on an errand, Theodore saw a glimpse of his older sister Elizabeth. He then decided to follow her and eventually reach this tower. What he describes as being out on an errand during a situation like this seems odd, but Yukon seems to understand and said that this man's sudden appearance makes sense if he really is related to the person he claims to be his sister. Yeah, youth like, yeah, no, it's the Velvet Room, this checks out. It seems that the man in blue is able to move about without being constrained by the rules we've all been having troubles with. That be related to why he feels different from everyone else? Theodore wanders around the room for a bit, but eventually he seems satisfied and comes back to us.
Upon closer inspection, it seems you're all quite wounded. Forgive me for asking so brazenly, but why is it you continue to fight, even when you have been hurt to this extent?
Why?
I'm a little bewildered by the sudden question. What are we fighting this battle for?
Are you asking why we're fighting?
One moment, please.
Theodore raises a hand to stop us, then furrows his brow in thought.
Hearing it from you would be too easy. I see. Could my sister have given me this opportunity to see the outside world, to broaden my horizons?
Are you all right?
Ah, please forgive me. It seems I have a great deal to learn for myself.
I guess he's kind of reached a conclusion.
I'm sorry for causing you trouble. It seems this is a question I must answer on my own. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be taking my leave.
Huh? You mean you're going back?
Yeah, in the context of this kind of writing, it really does feel like Jose from Persona 5 really is somehow related to Velvet Room. Or is it being similar to that? Right? It definitely feels like it, with this whole, like, them being very inquisitive over the guests that they preside over, as well as humans in general. It really does make me wonder if the person Jose was talking about with... Yeah, that's what one theory that people have had for a while, but we've never seen a lick or hair of Persona 6 yet, so it's hard to say, really. But it definitely feels like the person who he could be researching humans for could be Elizabeth. It could not be, but it could be. It depends on how much Atlas wants to continue along the plot thread of, like, Elizabeth trying to understand humanity so she can eventually release the seal. Or, yeah, eventually. So the seal is no longer necessary with the P3MC, so she can release him finally.
Yes, this conversation with you has been highly significant. Please, excuse me.
What the hell was that just now?
Did he just go back in the coffin?
I've got no idea, but... Wait, what now?
I'd almost forgotten. If you truly are in a great hurry to reach the top of this tower, then please make use of this door here. Well then,
What door? That is a coffin!
Yeah, he went back in the coffin.
That was mysterious.
Theodore asked us why we were fighting. The reason I had such a hard time finding an answer is because I couldn't find a way of putting it into words. I mean, we all have our own reasons for being here. We peek behind the coffin lid that Theodore left through and discover a set of stairs leading up. I thank the man for his brief but helpful appearance, then try to locate the others once again. Good! I can sense everyone's strong wills as they go around the school. It's reinvigorating, and I feel my own spirit lifting. What I need to do right now is focus on doing my best. This has to be kind of nostalgic for Fuka. Because while it's not technically the entrance to Tartarus, it is a reproduction of it. So she spent a lot of time, a few years ago, sitting in this room and looking over and watching over the others as they climbed Tartarus. Not too dissimilar from what she's doing right now. Surprised I didn't bring that up at all. Oh well. I kind of expected her to say something about it in her internal monologue, but oh well. Alright, let's see what's going on with Akihiko and Mitsuru then. In order to search for the Inaba persona users, Mitsuru and I searched for the school building for an exit out of the tower. The interior of the building has been warped into a complex maze. I don't think we'll get out that easy.
I'm detecting a set of stairs just up ahead. Would you please try going down a floor?
Got it. Let us know if anything else comes up.
This maze is rather troublesome. We must hurry on.
Are you still upset at how you and his friends got caught up in this?
I am, but what truly bothers me is how I cannot get a full grasp on the Sho Minazuki character, who has been behind everything.
Are we sure he's a persona user? When he fought against Labrys, he didn't use a persona.
In addition to that, the one who called himself the person behind Labrys' disappearance said he has no persona. Granted, that could have been an act to confuse us, but that still seems like a very unclear way of doing things. It's hard to believe that what he just said was an act.
When I spoke directly with Minazuki, I saw his persona myself. This matches with what Narukami and his friends attested.
Could he have an accomplice?
An accomplice? Akihiko, this is only a hypothesis, but what if there were two Minazukis to begin with?
Two? You mean the one who called himself Sho and the one who called himself Minazuki are two different people?
No. His personalities changed before our very eyes. There's no doubt that they're the same body. But what if this isn't a case of multiple identity disorder? What if the two truly are completely separate personalities existing in the same body?
Completely separate? What do you mean?
Mitsuru-senpai, I'm detecting a shadow just up ahead of you.
It'd be too much trouble to try to head back. Let's break through here, Mitsuru.
It seems there's no other way. The situation is growing more and more dire by the moment. We must deal with this as quickly as possible.
It's been a while. You two seem to have made it out of the predicament.
Shadow Nato.
How does it feel to have been rounded up like that?
Enough idle conversation. Let's get this over with. We don't have a lot of time.
Are we playing with Mitsuru or Akihiko?
There's something I want you to tell me before I slay you.
What is it? You can ask, but it doesn't mean I'll answer.
Who created you fake people? Who is Minazuki?
That's an odd thing to ask. Didn't you meet him yourself only a few moments ago? You should ask him yourself. Then again, you won't be getting that chance as you'll never leave here.
Alright, we'll fight as Mitsuru. That sounds fun. We haven't fought as Mitsuru in a minute. I think not since the original Arena. Technically the same as Akihiko, but... there'll probably be another chance to fight as Akihiko later. If not, that's fine too. Interesting music choice here. Man, Yukari, or sorry, Mitsuru's got some range on her, huh? Oh, dang. I was sweeping the AI. I did get in a decent combo there, though. Yeah. Gotta keep an eye on that. If I let the AI cook, it really will cook me sometimes. Depends on the character. It does better with certain characters than others.
That was enjoyable. Please sit back and enjoy the spectacle of extinction. Well then.
Mitsuru-senpai! Akihiko-senpai! Are you alright?
Yeah, no problems on our end. The shadow disappeared before we could get any information out of it, though.
We can't waste any time. Let's keep moving while we talk.
Okay. Please head down those stairs then. That should get you out of the tower.
Mitsuru, back to what we were talking about earlier. It looked like Sho changed right in front of us. He switched personalities. What makes you think that it's not the ordinary form of split personality?
Do you recall the conversation in the limo about Ikutsuki's personal experiments? I said there was an indication that a plume of dusk was used.
It's interesting how much they drag this plot point out in this version of events, wherein the P4 series of events, it's just kind of told to the player, like, about halfway through, I think, the plot or so. About 3/4 or halfway through. That's like, oh yeah, plume of dusk, that's why multiple personalities. That's why one can use a persona and one can't. But here they're, like, really dragging it out. Which is a little weird because, like, you have to play the Persona 4 storyline before you can do the Persona 3 storyline. So you already know the answer to this question.
You mean the human experimentation we were talking about?
It makes
It's
sense
definitely
in
something a
context.
guy like
And, like,
Ikutsuki
if you
would've
were
come
playing
up with.
through this storyline for the first time, you'd be fine. But, like, playing it as the second one, it gets a little like, do we really have to have all this dialogue about something the player already knows about?
What if Ikutsuki's experiments on Minazuki involved transplanting a plume of dusk into
Or maybe
a
we
living
could have
person?
just, like, left that detail out of how it works in the P4 storyline, and then it would be, like, something you're thinking about, like, huh, how does that work? And then you get the answer here in the P3 storyline. I don't know. It's just an odd decision to have them spend so much time talking about something the player already knows.
What? Why would he do something like that?
Considering that it could have been part of Ergo Research's attempts to create artificial persona users, it makes sense. It's most likely that Ikutsuki implanted a plume of dusk into Minazuki in order to intentionally try to force a persona to appear. But Sho Minazuki didn't awaken to the persona ability. That much can be gathered from the fact that Ikutsuki labeled the experiment a failure.
Most new players don't, but don't you have to play through the P4 storyline to get to the P3 storyline? Unless I'm mistaken, that is the case. That's what new games make sense of better than this? Sorry, I don't understand that.
Contrary to Ikutsuki's expectations, though, the experiment had a different result.
What?
If a plume of dusk was implanted into the body of a person who already had a personality, what would happen?
A plume of dusk stimulates the creation of an ego. So it's not out of the question that it would create a new personality in the same body.
According to the records, after the operation, Minazuki entered a vegetative state after some time. Thus, Ikutsuki let go of Minazuki. He was then transported to a hospital in the suburbs of Inaba, and there are no records of Minazuki from there
Oh,
on.
interesting. Huh. Was experimentations being done around here then? Because they're specifically calling out that he was in a hospital in Inaba. Interesting.
What happened from that point on, I can only speculate. But I wonder what sort of life Minazuki led after he regained consciousness.
Yeah, maybe that's why he has an attachment to Inaba, it seems. He was wearing the school uniform, even if it was just tied around his waist. Maybe I'll take a look at it. I still haven't technically played through the second playthrough. Of RE2. I didn't do the Claire playthrough. So, of the RE2 remake. So, and there are other Halloween October games I'd like to play that I already own, like Dead Space and stuff. Since this didn't get a new game, it's just a re-release with updated buffs and nerf changes. Yes, but playing this version as a first-time player, you had to play through the Persona 4 storyline for Ultimax before you could get to the P3 story for Ultimax. I don't know if that's the case in the original, but at least here, it seems like you have to play through the P4 story first. So when you do play through that story, if you're paying attention, they just straight out say what's going on with the Plume of Dusk thing, whereas here in the P3 story, they don't say that outright. And there are multiple conversations over the Plume of Dusk being part of the experiments, and them slowly piecing together the fact that the Plume of Dusk was put in Minazuki, and that's the reason for his split personality. It's like a plot point that they drag out over the course of, like, most of the story here for the P3 storyline. Whereas the P4 storyline, it's like an side detail that's brought up and, like, explained within, like, a very short amount of time. It's not like a main focus or anything. So, given that, it's just weird that, like, it's drawn out so long with the P3 story compared to, like, P4 story. Oh, the P4 story was DLC originally? Interesting. Huh. It's weird that that's the first one you have to do now in
Labra said that she
Ultimax,
wanted
then.
to speak with Minazuki. And now, so do I.
We'd better rescue Yukiko's group and get back here then.
That's weird. Yeah. I guess that makes more sense then. Yeah, that does make a lot more sense with the pacing of things.
Indeed. Let us
But
accomplish
then
our
it's an odd
duties
choice
with
for them
haste.
to make the P4 one mandatory for unlocking the other two. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
Fuka, what's Yukiko's position?
That is definitely weird and odd. But
I sense something southeast of there. Please be careful.
that doesn't make a lot more sense with how they're dragging out certain plot points and everything. Whereas they just kind of like said, yeah, that's the thing, and kept moving with Persona 4's story. Alright. See what I guess and her Knight Teddy are up to.
I'm worried about Yuki-chan and Rise-chan. Hang in there, ladies. I'll come get you in no time.
Still, this hallway has been going on forever. If this continues, we will be unable to make any progress.
Aww. Just thinking that danger is closing in on those innocent ladies even as we speak is making my fur fall out. I'll be positively bare.
Your fur is falling out. Perhaps it is merely your shedding season.
No. I'm extremely sensitive, and I lose fur when I'm stressed. Just the other day, Kanji lured me into a trap with some ice cream. He then kept nuzzling me over and over, and I ended up with a big old bald spot on my head. It was terrible.
I see. Kanji-san's extreme expression of love puts stress upon your fur. I will add that to my data file on you.
By the way, are you tired at all, Ai-chan? If you do feel a little logy, feel free to snuggle up against me whenever you like.
Do you mean that it's a lot worse in the Persona 4 arena? Like, the Persona 4 arena story is a lot worse? Personally, I think that the original story for Persona 4 Arena is actually better. The stuff that's going on in it is more interesting, especially with Labrys's backstory. I think it was poorly told. Both, and that Ultimax tells its story better, but I think that Arena has the base Arena has the better story. So far, at least. We haven't gotten all the way through Ultimax's story. Well, we technically have. We've gotten through, like, the P4 side of things. We're about a little over halfway of the P3 story, so.
No, I'm more concerned for the others in town.
No, completely ignored. But I'm sure they'll be okay. My friends are really strong, you know.
You trust them, don't you?
Of course. You believe in Michan and the others too, don't you?
It is hilarious to me. I think I've put in over like 40 hours in this game. I still have not done any of the multiplayer matches or anything.
Yes, I do. They're all precious to me.
I feel like only like a few hours of that have actually been playing the
We're
game.
the same after all. You're sparkling too.
Sparkling?
I love everyone who's nice to me. And the world where everyone that I love lives in really sparkles. And I want to protect that sparkle and help everyone out.
Thinking about someone else strengthens your own powers. We know of that.
It is very
phenomenon.
disappointing that of all the P5 spin-off games we did get, Persona 5 like Arena wasn't one of them, you know? Like, it would have been really cool to see that happen. Although I think the characters made it over to a Blaze Blue game as a DLC, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like I said, if they did like a P4-5 Arena and like kept the series going, that would have been really nice as a spin-off for P5. Definitely would have taken that over Tactics. And I like Tactics overall. I think some of it, the stuff out of it is pretty good. Story's pretty good. Music's pretty good. Visuals are pretty good. Gameplay's alright. But I think I would have preferred a P5 Arena fighting game over like something like Tactics. But yeah. Or P5 dancing.
So why doesn't that Minazuki guy get that? Does he not see the sparkling?
Maybe in Q2. I don't know. I think Q2 might be okay, but yeah.
Achoo!
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, we can't get to the
Yeah,
exit
I
unless
seem
we
to
go
remember
through
that.
here.
Seeing that or whatever.
By the way, won't you take a little break here? You still seem exhausted, and I'm worried about you.
Thank you. You're truly kind.
Of course I am. It's basic bear etiquette. We're barreling in. Excuse us.
I don't know. I think that Adachi's probably a bit more of a fan favorite and a bit more memorable for most people as a character than Sho is. But it is weird that it's a one or the other thing. Sounds like they probably could have added both for cross tag. Like, if you were going to add characters from... If you could add 5 characters to Blaze Blue from Arena Ultimax, it would probably have to be Sho, Labrys, P4MC, and then Aigis and Yu Narakami. Yeah. Adachi is popular because memes. I mean, he's a fairly memorable villain. I think he's definitely one of the better villains that the Persona series has had so far. When you talk about modern Persona, at least 3 through 5. He's definitely one of the most memorable, you know. because the story really is centered around him and what he does, and you end up chasing him for most of the game, um, as it is a murder mystery, even if you don't realize that's who you're chasing most of the time. And he's also kind of an interesting character because of how much he hides in plain sight. Like, it's pretty easy now to know that he's the antagonist and the culprit because spoilers and everything, but I think on a first playthrough, I think if you truly went into Persona 4 blind, I think it would take you a while to figure out that he's the culprit, you know? Gotcha.
Targets acquired. An anti-shadow weapon
Oh.
and a shadow.
Fake Labras.
Commencing elimination.
Hi, John!
Man, you're weak. I was just trying to surprise you a little.
You're a copy of my sister.
I was ordered to take part in the battle near here. But that don't matter anymore. I'm gonna do whatever I want starting now.
Hi, John! Run!
That's weird. Yeah, but I'm not super knowledgeable about all that stuff. Yeah, I do wonder if they'll ever partner up with Atlas again to make like another P5 arena or something. Maybe that was a thought, but like maybe it just didn't work out behind the scenes or whatever. It's too bad, because I would like to see this overarching plot with Elizabeth continued forward throughout the games and spin-offs and everything. And it feels like things probably aren't... Like, I get the feeling that if I play Persona Q and Q2, they're not going to make nearly as much reference to the fact of, like, Elizabeth doing this kind of stuff, where it's a fairly... It's, like, a fairly major, like, B plot or whatever, like, that Elizabeth is doing, like, trying to find a power to overcome, to be able to release the seal, or at least destroy the monster that requires the seal from the end of Persona 3. But, yeah. Yeah.
Shadow's persistent. Once I'm done with Itis, I'm gonna grind you down to fertilizer.
Teddy! No!
Yeah.
My frame's been cracked.
Yeah, they could still make a P5 arena or a P6 arena without arc systems technically, but I don't know. I feel like it would be best to have the same developer carry the games forward, but it's probably not. There's probably a lot of churn of people since they made that. Like, even if they gave it to the same studio, it wouldn't be the same people making like Persona 5 Arena at this point.
I was trying to hurt you, you know? I knew you were weakened, Itis. It's so easy. Just target the weakest one, and the numbers will drop on their own. These bonds are pretty useful.
In other words, she knows of my special qualities as an upgraded version
Yeah,
of
I
her
definitely
hardware,
think that like
and can precisely target
all of
my
the like
weaknesses.
descriptive dialogue, especially with Arena, like the original Arena, I noticed that a lot of the descriptive like dialogue or whatever was like superfluous. Like there's stuff that it will be described and then will happen. Like the fact that they always describe the fact that the pillars fall down is like very superfluous. You only needed to do it once. The player understands what's going on. I feel like what happened was somebody wrote out the whole script, including like what's supposed to happen in each scene, right? Ahead of time, which makes sense. But then like that script was just Control-C, Control-V'd into the game without accounting for the fact that certain things just happen in the game and you don't need to like repeat them in like internal monologues and stuff. And also the internal monologues do bring down the pacing of the game quite a bit. That's why I skip over them a lot of the time, unless it's something kind of interesting, like the internal monologue of like the main character from P4, or like the main internal dialogue of Adachi or whatever. Yeah, if they voice their dialogue, that would help too. Just put like a filter on it so it's a little echoey so you can tell the difference, maybe. But that would be a lot of dialogue, which means that they might actually have to shrink the internal monologue, which would be nice. I understand that's written in, like, it is made in a visual novel style thing because you only have, like, pictures and, a couple of, like, animations, like 2D animations for certain big scenes in both Arena and Ultimax. So you do have to have some amount of, like, probably internal or descriptive, like, text or whatever to understand what's going on without being able to, like, animate everything in the format that's in. But there's definitely a lot of unnecessary, like, internal monologuing that happens and everything.
I already made a mistake in the limousine, and this will be my second blunder today. If only I had been better able to deal with things.
Like I said, I think Arena has a pretty good story. Especially the stuff with the backstory of Labyrinth and everything is very interesting, but it's just not told in a very good way.
I yearned for power so that I could
Especially for the
protect
fact
my
that you have to,
comrades,
like, play through all the stories, and then you have to, like, get to the cliffhanger, play through the stories again, and Arena, the original, like, base Arena, repeats a lot of cutscenes. Like, a lot of cutscenes.
What are you boiling about? You're next, Gaius. Come at me.
I couldn't respond to a sudden ambush. Those close to me have been wounded. I can't save anyone like this. It seems I'll have to make use of that. I should have had maintenance done, like Fuka-san said.
The plume of dusk within me flares strongly as if responding to my heart. Right now, I will do anything if it will give me power to fight, even if it results in shattering my own self. Please, give me the power to protect my friends.
Persona, rise up. Beginning frame coding. Stand by, EXO.
Are you still gonna try something? Sounds like you don't want to fight that. That's cool thing. Here!
Dax, the fake wields flashes toward my face and I hear the boosters roar. Would jumping over it to the side to evade be best? Before I can decide, my body reacts.
It's no use.
Ooh. I cross my arms and take the brunt of the strike on my forearms. Violent sparks fly up in collision, and the force of the attack travels throughout my entire body.
You saw me just like that? How did you... I'll just slice you in half!
My sister's fake stays where she is and leans heavily onto the axe, pushing it against me. My joints scream as I try and push back, and white smoke steams through the gaps in my armor. My internal sensors repeatedly report that I'm operating at my maximum capacity. It's not enough. I need more. More power.
Oh, my. Ai-chan's shining. What are you doing?
Teddy seems to have been awakened by the violent sounds of our clashing and stammers as he lifts himself off the floor. I'm relieved he's able to move, but from this point on, everything is a gamble.
Teddy, please stay away. The probability of maintaining self-control in this mode is less than 1%. I'm sorry, but I can't guarantee that you'll be safe around me. It's ready. Releasing all limiters. Extreme Orgia mode.
Okay, this will be interesting. It seems like that'll probably have an effect on gameplay. There is that gauge system I haven't figured out with Aegis yet. I'm not sure what you mean with that last message, New Blitz. Is this basically a super armor state? Is that what I'm guessing from this? in terms of the P4 Arena original, it seems to me the better arcade endings. It seems to me better
I am
the
overheating.
the arcade endings than do the true story to keep that potential there. Oh, I see what you mean. So you mean have like the side endings or like the joke endings be something you have to do first, and then have like one run through with like one character that is the quote unquote true ending. Like instead, like have you play all the way through everybody else's endings, and then like have the Yu Narakami ending or whatever be the true ending. You get access to that last, you play all the way through it, and that's the true ending. Or like the Elizabeth ending or something like that. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they ended up going with the Yu Narakami ending, from what I can tell, as the quote-unquote canonical one, which makes sense since he's the main character, or the main protagonist of Persona 4. But, yeah, I don't know. It didn't confuse me too much, because I understand that they were all what-ifs, and there was enough overlap with, like, the general flow of things that I could understand. Like, yeah, this is just, like, if you don't worry about it too much, I think Arena's, like, different endings were fine for me. They were all kind of, like, what-ifs for the most part. There were definitely some that felt, like, a little bit better than others. Like, I think TA's didn't feel very good. Like, it was kind of whatever, as opposed to something like Teddy's was kind of interesting, or, Yosuke's was kind of interesting. So, like, there were definitely stories with the characters that were a bit more better, interesting, or whatever. Stuff like Ryuji's... No, sorry, Kanji's was, like, kind of just a jokey kind of thing, which is fine. And, like, there was enough overlap of, like, where everybody starts and kind of where things end up that it was fine, but yeah. It was truly only coincidence I'm still alive after releasing all the power of my Plume of Dusk. But applying my Persona's materialization sequence to reinforce my body's skeletal system and armor plating allowed me to endure a far stronger load than my components could normally handle. I suppose it truly is extreme Morgia mode. My sister's double turns into a black mess and begins to melt. As it collapses into a puddle, glimmers like golden sand trickle upwards out of it and disappear into the ceiling. I finally reach Teddy and help his injured round body sit up.
Teddy, I'm so sorry. It's my fault.
Ai-chan, you were so cool. I regret nothing. Please, take care of Yosuke.
Teddy!
Teddy, stop being overdramatic.
What was that?
I don't know, but it seems a great power is trying to awaken.
Beethoven just silently glaring at you in the background. Oh! Rise.
Rise-chan, you're okay! Oh, I'm so glad!
Teddy, is that you? Where are you right now? Are you hurt?
I'm in the tower that appeared at school. I'm with Ai-chan, so I'm okay. I think.
Ai-chan? You mean Aige-san? Aige-san, please listen. There's a ton of red fog swirling around the top of that tower right now. Where are you, Rise-san? Can you see this place from there? Senpai and I are in town searching for but we can't get out because there's a horde of shadows closing it.
We have to go at once! Rise-chan, we're coming for you! Ow! 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 Ow!
Please wait, Teddy. We've both been damaged quite badly. If we move now, we'll likely be in danger.
Yeah, that's true. But I just can't sit here and wait. Yowee! My back!
Teddy was surely wounded quite badly, but knowing his friends are in danger, he seems unable to contain himself and attempts to force himself up to his feet. I feel the same way. I must relay everyone to what Rise-san said about the school as soon as I can. When I approach the window to find out what area I am, I see two figures leaving the school building.
That's Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san.
Thank goodness! They managed to get out before us.
I can understand why you want to hurry, but those two are attempting to rescue the others as well. Let's proceed with caution so that we can meet up with them quickly.
Mysteriously, I can still move as well. Even though my frame has reached the very limits of its operational tolerances, and my joints creak ominously, the sheer strength of my emotion to save my friends forces my body into action. Teddy and I feel the same way. I'm sure we can keep moving.
Got it. Ow. Anyway, let's move. I'm getting fired up. Let's do this. Onward!
As they say, yeah!
I can't help but smile at Teddy's enthusiasm. We leave the music room and the wreckage left behind from our recent battle, and run down the hallway towards the exit. Alright. To be continued. The world of me. Interesting. World of me, not for thee. I guess let's keep going with Mitsuru and Akihiko for now, and then we'll head back over to the main thing. Getting there. Yeah, it looks like we've got like 1 or 2 more chapters over here, and then it's just a straight shot through the rest with Labrys and co. Okay. See how far we can get today. Hopefully we can get through the rest of P4 story, and then maybe we can do the true ending next week and start messing around, like people beat me up on multiplayer, and try some of the other modes. We run at top speed through the fog enveloping the town of Inaba. Not a single soul can be found outside. Sight reminds me of nothing more than the dark hour. Akihiko must feel the same way as he runs beside me.
Mitsuru, how are Aigis and Teddy doing? They must have gotten out into the town by now.
I keep forgetting that Akihiko calls him Teddy, because that's how Teddy introduced himself. He was like, "My name is Teddy! Teddy!" And so Akihiko thinks his name is Teddy. Technically, it would be Kuma Kuma in the original Japanese, but yeah.
You're right. Let me search for them.
Nobody ever brings it up either. He's just been saying it this way, that way this whole time, and nobody has bothered to correct him.
I found them in the town shopping district. We'll be able to catch up with them quickly.
All right, let's hurry to join up with them. Then we can compare notes.
Ow! My back still hurts. Getting old sucks.
Do you age, Teddy? I don't.
Oh, by the way, there's something I've been meaning to ask you, Ai-chan. Is there anyone you like?
Yes, but he's dead now.
What do you mean?
Come on, you can't fool me. If you don't have anyone, then you and me should...
Aigis, Teddy.
Michan! Aki!
Akihiko-san, Mitsuru-san, thank goodness you're both safe.
Whoa, what happened? You're both beaten.
I was careless. We were ambushed by an enemy and suffered severe damage. Is someone... Please respond.
Rise-chan, I hear you! Talk to your lover bear!
Jeez, Teddy.
Is that you, Kujikawa? We can hear you.
That voice. Mitsuru-san? Thank goodness, I heard you were captured.
Yes, but we're fine now. I'm sorry to have worried you. Where are you right now?
Yukiko-senpai and I went out to look for Kanji and the others, but the town's turned into a maze. I lost track of them while we were getting our bearings. We're thinking about heading back to Junes right now.
All right, keep going to Junes. We'll head over too, so we'll meet you there. Tatsumi and Shirogane should have arrived already.
If P5 Arena is made, it will fuse 3 possibilities. True. Yeah, you'll have like 3 different timelines if they keep up with the timeline thing. With the P3, P4, P5 thing. Although, if you're talking about like the Adachi P3 and P4 endings, I think there's a true ending that unlocks after all of them. So I assume they would kind of continue off that one. That's my understanding anyway, is that once I finish the P3 thing here, I'll be able to access the true ending or whatever. I don't know if there's like a bunch of fighting or whatever with that one, like its own little branch or whatever, or if it's just like 1 or 2 chapters and an epilogue or something, but I guess we'll see.
Understood. Please be careful.
Alright, now that that's decided, we need to hurry. Igus, Teddy, can you go on?
Leave it to me to guide you to Juness. I'll use my nose and... Achoo!
Huh, you left everyone else inside and ran away? What happened to all that fun stuff?
Yeah, I would assume that P5 Arena might... I don't know. It would be hard to work... I was saying this before, but it would be hard to work in Adachi into any sort of, like, story elements in future games for a while. Because he should technically be serving out his time for, like, the next 20 to 30 years, probably. Even if there's a plea deal, even if he, like, they can't really find his mode, like, how he did it, he's still charged with murder of at least 2 people. So, realistically, unless you cheated him out, like, through teleportation or magic mumbo jumbo, he shouldn't really be able to get out of prison for the next 20 to 30 years. So, I mean, we're getting there. You can make references to him, maybe, but, like, I feel like there's not a lot you can do with Adachi's character, and I don't know if you would want to do too much with Adachi's character at this point. I feel like P4 Arena's story leaves him in kind of a good place, overall. And at this point, I feel like he's a good character, but he shouldn't be brought back too much more, just because, like, he should be spending his time serving out his sentence in jail, because that would be consistent with his character, and, like, it is consistent with how he's written and kind of the themes and stuff of, like, his story and everything with P4 Arena and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far in the future P6 would be or whatever. So maybe, like, if there was a P6 spin-off game, you could maybe swing it. Like, yeah, he's getting off. He's gotten off eventually. Like, he's finally gotten out after 20 years. Because, like, there's a decent amount of time that's passed between, like, Persona 4 and P6. Like, even in the IRL world. If you push P6 a little bit farther than IRL time, then, yeah, there's a decent chance it's been, like, 20 years since P4. But...
Oh, maybe they just don't need you anymore. I guess you're the runs of the litter.
Because it seems like, generally speaking, the Persona games are set in current time of when they're released. So, that's why there's, like, a 3-year gap between the events of Arena and Persona 3. Because it's been about 3 or so years between those games' releases, as far as I can remember. Because Persona 3 came out in, like, 2007-ish, I think? And this came out, like, a couple years after that. 2 years after that. So that tracks. And then the same thing with, like, dancing and Persona 5 and stuff. So.
A fake Chie-chan! Bears have packs, not litters, and we're not runts!
That's why it's not unreasonable that, like, in concept arting, there was a grown-up version of Nanako for the P5 characters. Like, as a reference, she was going to show up somewhere, it sounds like. Because that would be, like, what? Yeah, 4 came out in 2008-ish, and then 5 came out around 2015, 2016, so that's like 7 or 8 years. He was in, what? Elementary school in Persona 4. So yeah, should be like around high school age in Persona 5 time. But yeah.
It's fine, Teddy. Let it say whatever it wants. I've made some errors this time, but we have our comrades. Even if one of us was to fall, the rest of us can complement each other. My standing here right now is a result of the trust we have for one another. I will carry out my duty, and you will be stopped.
We will protect this world. We will not lose to the likes of you.
We're the most powerful lineup ever! We'll prove that we've got the upper claw here!
I was hoping for a chance to fight about now. I felt myself getting rusty. The rest of you can sit back and watch.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't keep bringing back Adachi, like I said. I think Adachi's character is in a good place. I think we can let him rest. Let him spend his time reflecting and serving out his prison sentence, and then maybe down the line we can bring him back. But I think for right now, and if there's ever a P5 arena, I hope they don't bring back Adachi as like a main antagonist. Maybe as like a DLC fighter with no like story explanation, or with a very loose story explanation, but just so you can have him for gameplay purposes. But from a story standpoint, I don't really want him.
This tournament is foolish. But
Because it's a little repetitive,
it's time
and
to
I
show
feel like
the
he
power
should
of the
spend his time.
execution queen.
Not necessarily. We have no idea what a P5 or a P6 arena game story would be. It probably wouldn't follow the same idea or premise as this game did. In fact, I would hope it didn't. I hope that it would be a different scheme from a different person with different goals and focusing on different themes. Alright, let's play as Akiko. We haven't done that at all for Ultimax. Well, Sho attempted at A so they could get Adachi in the story, and because it makes sense with Sho's plan and everything. It wouldn't necessarily make sense with yeah, I guess. I would just hope that they wouldn't reuse a similar plot thing. Like I said, you could get him involved in other ways. Or just like, I don't know, loose ways, so you can have him there for gameplay purposes. But I would prefer him not to be there with the same logic as in this game. Oh, shoot. That was pretty close. Oh well.
Very nearly had them.
Finally!
Don't get too carried away out there. No need to talk any longer.
Personally, I think it's fair to serve out his sentence, considering that he's accused and responsible of at least 2 murders. Even if they don't find or figure out his like mode of operandi, it feels like he has no interest in like contesting the charges. So even if he, at worst, he takes like a plea deal of like, yeah, I did it, even if you don't know how I did and you don't believe my explanation of how. I still did it, you know. Okay.
There! Come on! Everyone hurry!
Our rendezvous point is on this.
And that was
building's
kind of the
rooftop.
point of like why he
Everyone
cared about
remaining contact
making
while
sure nobody
searching
else
for
died,
Kujikawa and the rest.
or at least that's the
Stay
explanation
alert.
he gives, is that he doesn't want anybody else to die during the events of this game, so that way the investigation isn't reopened, and he can continue to take accountability for what he did. Because it would be a pain in the ass if the investigation was reopened. That's the explanation he gives, at least. At your Junus.
Hello? What the? You again, you phony bear! What do you want now? Thanks for coming all the way out to such a remote place. Did you enjoy the P1 climax? There were so many touching battles this time. But, too bad for you. Unfortunately, you've all served your purposes already.
What do you mean by that?
Just what I said. When you fought, you released fragments of your personas. And I've gathered more than enough of them. Thus, there's no reason to keep you persona users alive any longer. Prepare to be swallowed by a surge of shadows!
What is the shaking?
Ah! What the?
There are so many shadows. They're going to attack. Please, be careful.
Cheeky bastards. Come! Persona!
Artemisia!
Persona!
Initiating summon sequence. Athena.
We summon our personas one after another and have no choice but to fight back. Things are this bad out here. I have to worry about Kujikawa and the others who are inside. We must get to them as soon as possible and meet up with them. But the horde of shadows pours forth without stopping, giving us no respite. Even the entrance to Juness has been completely covered with the black mass. This becomes a drawn-out battle, then we obviously will be at a disadvantage. I feel a sense of listlessness. After being on that cross, I'm severely exhausted. Even Akihiko and Igus are moving less nimbly than usual. Teddy fights on, as if trying to protect the three of us. He's injured as well. He won't last forever.
If this keeps up.
Rise-chan, Yuki-chan, Nao-chan, I'll be right there.
More shadows incoming. They're not stopping.
Where was he hiding this many shadows?
My vision begins to darken, as if layers of gauze are being wrapped around my eyes, and I feel more tired than ever. Though each shadow may be inconsequential on their own, their sheer numbers are too much to contend with. My arms drop to my sides. I can't lift them anymore.
Mitsuru! Hey, hang in there!
Mid-chan! Watch out!
Mitsuru-san!
Come on, can't you pull it together? I really don't
jeez.
want to get involved here, you know?
Speaking of Adachi. What the? As the sound echoes out, my vision returns, and I see a shape moving towards us, mowing down the horde of shadows. Was that just a persona attack? The shadows that have been overwhelming us retreated, and a path opens up towards the Juness entrance.
You are...
Oh man, you guys look terrible. That's what you get for sticking your noses into places they don't belong.
The newcomer is a man who speaks languidly while scratching at the back of the neck. A persona attack must have come from him. He looks familiar. The serial murder case that took place in Inaba last year. I'm trying to remember the name of the former detective who had been arrested as a suspect.
Are you Toru Adachi?
What? I thought Adachi was in police custody.
Wow, I'm famous now. You're Mitsuru Kirijo, right? I guess the rest of these people are your subordinates?
What's Adachi baby doing here? Wait, you must be a fake too.
Huh? You too? A fake? Yeah, that's it. I'm a fake.
Everything about his response radiates insincerity. He seems to be intelligent but a shrewd man. But for right now, it doesn't matter if this man is a fake or not. What matters is why such a person would go out of his way to help us.
Why did you save us?
It wasn't just for you. If you died here, it'd be trouble for me. I have to obey the rules.
Rules?
Never mind, I'm just rambling. Still, isn't this an impressive number of shadows? I bet you'd really be able to get up to something fun with this many. Like, oh, say summoning up a god or something?
Summoning a god? Is that what that show guy is doing?
So this horde of shadows seems to have been gathered here by the other Minazuki after all. He's intending to use them to awaken a godlike being. What he called his world is one where that being has descended. That will result in the fall. Utter destruction.
I'm just guessing. And if this many shadows were to head over to that tower and start wrecking shit, that building wouldn't stand a chance, would it? Plus, anyone inside would be in for some real trouble, wouldn't they? Well, it's not like it matters to me. I'm gonna be on my way now. Good luck or whatever. Aren't the rest of your friends in here at Juness? You kids love crowding together after all. Don't you think you'll win with those numbers?
Hey, stop! Where do you think you're going?
Don't, Teddy. I know you want to go after him, but we're all exhausted right now. We need to prioritize meeting up with your friends.
Goro Adachi doesn't even look back at Teddy and begins walking at a leisurely pace in the direction of Yasogami High. We quickly lose sight of him as he becomes lost in the mighty stream of shadows.
Toru Adachi. At the very least, he didn't seem to be a fake made from a shadow.
Is he scheming something after all?
No matter what his aims were, it's true that we were saved in the end.
Save thinking about it for later. We need to hurry.
I wonder if that's what he's doing at the end of the P4 story. Because he just kind of disappears at the end of the P4 story. I was hoping we would get more explanation about that in his own timeline, but we really didn't. I wonder maybe if it's explained in this story. We run up along the path to the Juness entrance that had been created for us by Adachi's strike, and rushed into the store and up the stairs. The gushing shadows had entered the building as well, but they're far fewer in number than they had been outside, and aren't much of a hindrance. Eventually, the stairs end, and we see the door that opens to the rooftop food court. And the food court beyond, a horde of shadows had regained its intensity and continued flooding in one after another. 4 pursuer users from Inaba are fighting them. Even though they are experienced, fierce fighters and have survived many tough situations, it seems they're having a hard fight against the sheer volume of these shadows.
Damn it! They're getting more intense again! There's no end to this!
You can't give up. Mitsuru-san and her people should arrive soon.
Right. We can't lose somewhere like this.
Rise-chan, Nao-chan, Yuki-chan! I'm so glad you're all okay! I'm coming over right now!
Oh, Teddy! And Mitsuru-san too!
Teddy should have been considerably exhausted and injured, but seeing the faces of his friends must have given him strength. He darts forward towards his friends as fast as little legs can carry him and joins their battle line. They're united by a strong bond, as well. We can't fall behind either.
Ted! Hey! You intentionally left me out, didn't you?
You're loud as always. Do you still have a lot of energy left? You don't go down easy, but I see you're barely hanging on.
Don't underestimate me. Half your stuffing's hanging out anyway, so you don't get to say anything.
Sorry we're late. You did well in keeping him at bay. We'll join in the fight.
With a sense of relief at seeing everyone we had been unable to locate, we quickly tell them of our situation and check on their conditions. It's clear that all of them are tired and injured, but now that our numbers are doubled, we should be able to make up for that by cooperating with each other. As it turns out, we were slowly but surely able to push back the seemingly endless torrent of shadows.
We can do this! There's enough of us here now that I'm sure we can win! It's too early to be relieved yet. The shadows all over town are converging on that tower. At this rate, our senpai in there will be...
Shirigane is right. If we're held up here, we won't be able to aid those who have headed up to the tower. If the shadows are gathering with the intent to climb that tower, then we have to take the chance of returning to the tower ourselves to intercept them.
But considering the sheer number of shadows, that would be too dangerous.
Mitsuru-san, Ken-kun has given me the details. This case has many similarities with Shuji Ikutsuki's plan. I believe the culprit has the same intent. And considering the current situation with these hordes of shadows, the time is nigh.
Do we have no choice but to entrust this to the others here? Isn't there something we can do, Mitsuru-san?
This isn't the time to argue, Mitsuru-san. We have to go.
What's there to worry about, Mitsuru? There's only one option here.
Everyone, listen up. The shadows are likely gathering at that tower. Their goal is likely to bring about the coming of a god with the power to destroy the world. We must stop this at all costs. Fujikawa, will you lend me your strength? We'll combine our communication abilities to contact Yamagishi. They need to be told of the danger. Persona!
Fuka-san is
Somewhere around the middle of the tower?
Hold on, Fujikawa. There's something in the sky.
Hey!
Kikuno, that's you there, isn't it, Kikuno? Respond at once.
Lady Mitsuru, thank goodness you're safe.
What are you doing there? This airspace is dangerous. You must withdraw at once to a safer area.
You're all putting your lives at stake by fighting. I refuse to shame myself by withdrawing.
I can only smile at the way Kikuno refuses my direct order. She won't hesitate to risk herself for my sake. That's never changed at all.
And there's something I must tell you at once. We've decoded more of the records from Shuji Ikutsuki that I gave to Labra-san. We've reached a point where there is a description that seems to be hinting at the security code. If we can solve it, we may be able to fully unlock it. The clues to the password are my true form that I should take, and the one written of in the prophecy.
Prophecy
Oh.
and true form? Could this be about what happened
What
back
was
then?
that?
Mitsuru, I have to remember. That insanity Ikutsuki was a slave to.
Yeah, what was up
Remember
with
the
it?
speech he gave us?
I'm trying to remember. Ikutsuki.
He said he would become a king in the new world. With that in mind, what he strived to become, his self-professed true form.
The new world that Shuji Ikutsuki strove for. A world where everyone besides himself had been changed into a shadow. What did he believe his true form would be?
King of the fog.
There's no mistake. Those words symbolize the distorted ambitions Ikutsuki had become obsessed with, and what he truly believed he would become.
King of the Fall. That's it! The password was accepted, and the file's been unlocked. I'm opening the file now.
There's no time to wait for an analysis. Fujikawa, let's try again. We need to get this information to Labras through Yamagishi.
We direct our search in the direction of the tower once more and detect Yamagishi. Near her are a number of other readings that appear to be in combat. They are Arakami, Satonaka, and Hanamura. Seems they're fighting valiantly to protect Yamagishi. Though they had been injured, I signed relief, sensing that they've made a recovery. We immediately opened communication with Yamagishi and relay our situations. According to Yamagishi, the sudden swarm of shadows in town have begun pouring into the tower as well. We then pass on our own conclusions, the reasons for the horde of shadows, and our information on the password. Even Yamagishi seems lost for words at hearing this, but she quickly recovers herself.
So that's why all these shadows have been flooding in. We'll stop them here as well. I'll tell Labras about that password at once. Please be careful, Mitsuru-senpai.
We will now head to the tower to aid those who are still in there. We'll have to force our way in. We will combine the strength of our personas and fight our way through.
As they say, that's what I'm talking about.
This is starting to get interesting. I'm getting pumped up.
All right. If that's the plan, then it's time to bust out all our skills. Better not fall behind, Ted.
Roar! I'm getting fired up! Wait for us, Sensei! Wait for me, Labby-chan! There's no need to fear with my tremendous strength!
Right. Labras and Chia are fighting too, so I can't just stay here.
Kikuno, you need to leave Inaba and stand by until we contact you again.
No, my lady. This helicopter is loaded with two 7.62mm Gatling guns, 19 continuous rounds of 70mm rocket ammunition, as well as a 30mm chain gun.
I didn't know that was legal.
Though these cannot damage shadows,
For
they will
civilian
be useful in preventing
ownership.
their
Well, I guess they are
advancement
part
and
of the
providing
government
some
now.
measure of backup.
Don't be ridiculous. It's too dangerous. You're...
Labra-san asked me why someone who couldn't use a persona would risk their life to go to a place where shadows appear. No matter how slight it may be, I can still provide some assistance to you all. I have been prepared to risk my life from the start. My lady, I have my own battles to fight.
Kikuno-san.
Yeah, she is pretty good.
Mitsuru, I'm gonna repeat the same mistake.
You're right. It doesn't
I think
matter
she's
how
the
strong
same
or weak.
maid that like set up the
I've pushed
government
Narukami and
people
his
as
friends
well
away before.
by
And now
leaving
I'm
that
doing the
like
same to
ring
Kikuno.
out or whatever.
Kikuno, I accept your determination. Aid us from the helicopter. We must reach that tower at all costs.
In the original arena, because there was like a maid that like left a box out for them to like touch, like when they were taking stuff from the Kirijo group and they were being reckless, and so they touched it even though it says do not touch on it or whatever, and it like starts the dark hour and like a bunch of people died in the shadows. or fall prey to the shadows. It's not clear if they die or not, but they at least fall prey to the shadows or whatever. And it's implied that one of the maids, I guess Kikuno, left it out because she knew they'd do that, and they knew that she knew that they wouldn't listen to Mitsuru otherwise.
Understood. I will see you there safely, even if it costs me my life. Let us depart.
With a tremendous concussion, a rain of bullets showers down on the massive shadows, splashing bits of blackness every which way. The wave that had been completely covering the road loses its intensity and begins to retreat.
Now!
Right. All right.
Come! Persona! Go!
Persona!
Here goes!
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, let's see what's up with Labras and them, shall we? Black Flood. That's a name for that chapter. Alright. So that looks like that's the last, like, offshoot. Unless something comes up later. But yeah, looks like we're just on Labras and them for the rest of the story. I feel like I should probably go and get the joke endings for the characters here, so that way I have it 100% complete. Maybe I'll do that off stream at some point, get a little bit of practice in. For now. And it's also annoying that I don't have the achievement for doing that, so. Okay. So they're going after Sho, right? Okay.
The quakes are growing more and more frequent. I guess this means that time is running out?
You know, that Minazuki guy talked about making his world. But how is he going to do that?
Man, it was surprising to me to see, like, you talked about, like, the popularity contest, and Jeppo, and I remember seeing, like, an earlier version of it, because I went on X for something else the other day, and I saw that, like, the results of that or whatever, that contest pop up in my feed, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that they do that on Twitter. And so I was going through and, like, looking at stuff, and I looked at the post where they were talking about how Yukari got second or third or whatever, and I was, like, looking through and trying to see why people liked Yukari. Could not understand why people liked Yukari. They didn't even give reasons or anything either. It was just like, I like Yukari. It's nice to see that people are liking Yukari more now that people really didn't like her unfairly before. It's like, what part of that was unfair?
If we presume he's following in Ikutsuki's footsteps, then he's going to gather shadows, merge them, and summon some great power.
But it was against, like, Ryuji won out against, like, a bunch of other side characters or, like, more minor characters and stuff.
You mean that thing Minazuki-kun was talking about?
What do you think, Junpei? I mean, you've been surprisingly quiet. Are you not feeling well?
Huh? Nah, I'm fine. Coaches are well trained, you know. I guess it's just that I'm feeling all tense. All this end of the world stuff isn't anything to joke about. I've got people waiting for me. Like the kids have a game coming up next week, so there's no way I can lose here.
Stupei's being serious for once. Looks like he's grown up a bit. I guess I should learn from his example.
See, this is why nobody likes you, Yukari. He was always this serious when the chips were down.
Junpei has leveled up. You don't want the world to end either, do you?
That's funny.
Labi-chan? You just woke up after all.
I think that's a direct reference to one of his lines in the original P3. Not sure if it's in Reload or not, but in the original P3 there are voice lines for the characters that they will say in Tartarus right after they level up or whatever. And one of Junpei's is literally da 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 da. Junpei has leveled up.
Yeah, I don't want to lose this world after I've met everyone. I gotta do my best.
I guess that's one thing that I don't think
Wait,
is in Reload that was in the
earlier?
original P3.
I feel like the fog's getting thicker too.
Is those like voice lines of them being like, I leveled up or whatever. I wonder how much of an overlap there is between the old like voice lines said in Tartarus and the new ones.
It won't be good if this keeps up. Since we can't get in communication with Fukasan, we don't even know what's around us.
Come on, keep your cool. Getting all aggravated won't do us any good.
You're so positive as always, Junpei-san.
You think so? I think you've changed, though. You've gotten taller, too.
Huh?
Why do you sound so relieved?
I'd been wondering if I hadn't changed at all. I made a promise to Mitsuru-san that I'd live life like a child.
What's that supposed to mean?
Is that hard to do or something? It's difficult. I don't know what it's like to be a child, so I wasn't sure if I should keep doing what I've been doing.
Have we met? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I was doing a little... No, I forgot about something. Never mind.
Huh. I guess being an adolescent boy is difficult.
You should just live your life the way you are. I mean, you are a kid.
That's right. You can't trust Mitsuru-senpai's idea of childhood. Can you even imagine what she was like when she was a kid?
Okay, she's not entire. Okay, for once I agree with you, Kari, on this. Yeah, probably Mitsuru's idea of like what being a kid is like is a little off the mark for most kids, I imagine. Being saddled with like a lot of responsibility and like a lot of stuff weighing on her. For goodness sakes, I think she awakened to her persona when she was younger than Ken. So, yeah. Although at the same time, I guess it's because of that she wants him to be able to live, you know, a more happier, less stressful, less burdensome life than she did. Because she did have to live that life. And that's kind of the point with Mitsuru, it seems. Especially here in Arena and Ultimax. Is like, she's constantly working so that like the things to make up for the things that the Kirijo group did. And so that nobody has to like... and so people don't have to live like the way she did, which is interesting. It's good. I like that, but it is like a little bit like, yeah, I don't know if I trust Mitsuru on what an average childhood looked like, because she definitely didn't have one of those. I guess you could say that if since he is a kid, if he acts like how he would naturally, then he is, you know, being a kid. So
Whoa, you're right. I can't. It's impossible for common people like us. Speaking of children, that show dude is the perfect example of a spoiled brat. One moment he's joking around, and the next he's incredibly pissed off.
Yeah. What would someone have to go through in order to make them seriously consider destroying the world? What happened to him?
that's true. We don't know too much about him, or what happened to him after, after he was transferred to the hospital. Presumably, at some point, he woke up with the dual personalities. I mean, I guess a lot happened to him before then, too. Drago wasn't that too much different from him. And look how they turned out.
What's up, Koromaru-san? Is there something bothering you about this classroom?
Looks like you've made it all the way here. Now, what to do?
You're General Teddy! We finally found you.
This is getting out of hand. So I, General Teddy, will face you myself. Now bring on the ring! Now, it's time to have some fun. Those who hinder the creation of my world shall all perish here.
Whoa, someone's got a big mouth. My world? This has been our world from the start. We're not just gonna let you destroy it that easily.
Destroy? I will not destroy it. This will be a new beginning. The beginning of a world of my own, where only I will live.
Only you? What about Sho?
This doesn't concern you. The vessel will soon be complete. Nothing you can do at this point serves any purpose.
We won't know that unless we try. Koromaru!
Like hell we're gonna let you start anything like that.
Let's take this guy down and move on.
Who are we playing as? We'll probably get another chance to play as Labras. Let's play as Junpei. That sounds like fun. I haven't fought Teddy in a minute. Since we didn't fight a Shadow Teddy at all in the P4 or Adachi stuff. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this feels like an appropriate level difficulty for where my skills are at. Might turn it up again for the true ending or whatever. Interesting. Those items he's throwing down, some of them are the mechs that you can make in P4 as like the side thing that you can do. You can get the mechs and put them together and put them on your shelf. Excuse me. Huh. Okay, won that time.
No matter. That was the limit of this temporary body. I've bought enough time.
Huh? You're not gonna melt now?
As Junpei-san noticed, the fakes we've defeated up until now have lost their shapes quickly after being defeated, melting into black ooze before disappearing completely. But this General Teddy is just as confident as he was before the battle, and has the same smile.
I knew it. You're different from the other fakes. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm General Teddy. Who else? Well then, bye-bye, you pesky vermin.
Hey! Get back here!
Hey, Yucatan. He said something about a vessel being completed. Wasn't that kind of suspicious?
Yeah, it must mean that we don't have any time left, and when we defeated that General Teddy, he didn't disintegrate like the other fakes.
There must be more to this case.
Can you all hear me? You're very close. I'm getting a strong reading just up those stairs.
I've been waiting for this. Akihiko, is that you?
No way. Is this place?
Is this the moon viewing tower from Gekkoukan High?
You mean the observatory?
That's right. It's where you killed Ikutsuki. This time, it'll be the place where you all
Oh, don't give me
die.
that BS. He jumped off the building himself. Don't
See,
give me that.
I've already written what's going on your tombstones. It's some real poetical literature. Just kidding.
Shokun, please stop this! Even if you do it, it'll change nothing! Is this all because you hate us? Because we stopped Ikutsuki?
You really don't ever shut up, do you? I already told you that I don't give a shit about some dead guy.
I'm doing this because it's fun.
Yet you keep bringing up the fact that he's dead.
Watching you all freak out is hilarious. You're nothing but goddamn pests that can't do anything on your own. So I can't stand you buzzing around. That's when he spoke to me and said, you should just destroy the world. Isn't that the greatest suggestion ever?
Let's stop this. You keep saying Ikutsuki doesn't matter to you, but he's all you've been talking
True.
about this whole
Why
time.
now you're agreeing with Yukari?
What was that, bitch?
And that's twice now in the last, like, 10 minutes. This is a worrying trend.
Ikutsuki was a worthless ass who did whatever he wanted to me and still ended up dead. That's all. I don't give two shits about someone like him.
That's not true, Shokun. You're only running from your problems. You shouldn't turn away from your true self. Shokun, come back with us. None of us hold any of this against you. Didn't you see what happened before? I'm a machine and I hurt everyone, but they still accept me. You're just like me. If you have somewhere you can go back to, then you don't have to do this.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Shut the hell up, goddammit!
Oh, do you not like his design in this game? He looks fine. Or do you mean how he's written? His flustered rin suddenly breaks off. The X-shaped scar behind his red bangs is glowing a dull reddish white. I already know what this means.
That's enough. How far must you go in attempting to ruin this plan?
You're Minazuki, huh?
Unfortunately, the borrowed power has been exhausted. From here on, I have to deal with you myself.
An emotionless, icy gaze pierces us. Minazuki, one who awakened within Shokun, and, to use his own words, the one who grants his wishes.
It's him again. Are we really sure that he doesn't have split personalities?
I concentrate carefully on this presence. This isn't just a new facet of the same person. This is a completely different presence than before. The reaction from my plume of dusk is even stronger now. I can see her clearly. Shokun has a plume of dusk within his body.
Minazuki-kun, what I said goes for you too. You're the same as me. What you are is the plume of dusk itself.
That's right. Ikutsuki had a plume of dusk implanted in this boy during his experiments.
Boy, I'd love to hear you if they didn't make the wind foley so loud.
I knew it.
However, I still have no love for that man. After all, he tried to have me erased.
Erase you?
Yes. Ikutsuki was nothing more than a threat, who was using this boy only to throw him away later. But this boy was something different. He suggested that we try to act exactly like Ikutsuki. He created fake Ikutskis. He even went so far as to gain access to the Kirijo servers, to try to gain more information about Ikutsuki.
Then, you were the hacker Kikuno-san told us about.
But Ikutsuki, the only other person this boy knew, had already died by the time the boy awoke from his coma. All that was left to him was the truth. That man had tossed him aside like a piece of trash.
Seriously?
Since then, the boy did everything on his own. He had no help, met rejection at every turn. There was nowhere to go, and no one to turn to. You all believe that everyone is surrounded by other people just like you. But that in itself is only the beginning of this world's failures. The world holds no worth for this boy. Sho Minazuki was thrown into this world all alone, and he wished that everything besides himself would disappear. Then all I must do is grant him that wish.
Maybe it's ironic for someone like me to say this. Minazuki-kun's voice sounds like a machine, completely emotionless. Perhaps, even though he was a personality created by the Plume of Dust, he may have been trying to save Shokun in his own way. Even if that was the case.
No, that's not what Shokun really wishes for. What you're doing won't save him. Even if you don't know how, or if you end up hurting others, human interaction can change people. Labrys.
Silence, puppet. What would a thing like you know of this boy?
That's right, I ain't human. But neither are you. You're just using his body while you try to destroy the world. You don't care what he feels at all. I ain't like you. No matter how much
much it hurts or how much suffering it causes. I love this world.
Artful Cry really is a good song, but boy, they are overusing it a little bit here. It fits here, but they've definitely used it a bit more than they maybe should have.
Well said.
Over
Great job,
the
Labrys.
period of the story.
Right. What he's saying just sounds like he's running from his problems.
It doesn't matter if you're fully human or not. We're all standing here because of how we clashed with others and gained acceptance.
Very well. There is nothing more to say to you. Persona, you have gone too far. Sit in shame of your own ignorance as you await the moment of your destruction.
Minazuki slowly draws his two swords. While he stares at us with unblinking murderous intent, the persona behind him also raised for battle.
I will save Shokun. And to do that, we'll defeat you.
Oh, definitely gotta go Labrys here, right?
Finally!
Here's
Persona!
not enough. You're being so weak.
Gotcha. Holy cow, that came down to like 1 HP. Oh, that was close. That's good though. Makes the fight more interesting. The persona wearing the golden mask disappears as if melting into thin air. But the defeated master of the persona doesn't appear to be wounded as he should be. He looks up into the sky with a somewhat absent-minded expression.
I've lost. The vessel will still be completed. You will not stop the creation of this boy's world.
Must have taken an immense amount of damage. No normal person should be able to even move after taking a beating like that. And yet, Minazuki-kun's trying to stand up. A certain thought crosses my mind. The will to stand and fight for someone else, no matter how wounded you may be. Yukari-san and the others rushed to Inaba with me to rescue Mitsuru-san's team when they had been captured. How Yukun and his friends are fighting to protect this town. Minazuki-kun's reason for fighting is no different from ours.
Minazuki-kun, so you do understand.
Not another word, lout. I won't let anyone get in the way.
The reaction from the plumed dusk has been fading, but suddenly grows fierce and powerful, making the air around him tremble. He's still...
Tsukiyomi!
Whoa! Ah! Look out! You guys!
His persona appears and sweeps the area around him, causing debris to rain down upon us. Oh, cutscene? Yep, cutscene. Might be the same one we saw before, but no, we haven't seen this one. Okay. I mean, it's a cool shot, but nothing too much really happened.
This isn't good!
Labrys!
Instant Minazuki-kun disappears above us. Another quake hits. This one is so severe that we can barely stay standing. Every surface begins to undulate like a loving being, and large cracks run through the floor. One crack spreads into an actual crevice, separating me from the others. Far from beneath our feet, lost from view in the fog gathered around the tower. Something dark is rushing towards us with a deafening roar.
Is that a horde of shadows? Konomaru!
On the opposite side of the cleft from me, Kenkun and Koromaru-san summon their personas to fight the horde of shadows. Yukari-san and Junpei-san follow suit. It's an insane number of shadows. The horde of shadow crawls up towards us, making the tower outer wall appear to be a swirling black mass. Soon Yukari-san and the others will be...
Labrys, go! Huh? Don't look back, there's no time!
Go! We know what it's like to have to say goodbye. But you'd better come back to us.
That's right. I want to save him. Just like everyone saved me. If I don't go after him this instant, I'll never get another chance. A set of stairs leading up into the red fog is ahead of me. I can pursue him now.
Everyone, thank you! I will protect this world!
I'll do it for the sake of everyone else, no matter what. I charge up the long, winding staircase, up so fast, so far that I feel as these stairs will continue all the way up to the moon itself. What is waiting for me at the top? Alright, how are we doing on time? I think we've got, yeah, we still got a little while to go here. Keep going, I guess. I don't know if we'll get through the entire story today, but we're gonna get pretty close, I think. Yeah, I think we can get through another chapter or two, and then we can probably finish it out next week. Do the true ending. That'll be good. Alright. I swear, the story for this game is longer than some actual JRPGs I have played. Anyway. The higher I climb, the thicker the red fog seems to get. The sounds of battle below me fade away as I go further and further up. Suddenly, a deep blue shape appears in my red-tinged vision. I stop.
Oh my. It seems we meet again, Labrys.
You're Theodore, right? Still looking for your sister? I don't think she's around here, though.
No, I have stopped looking for her. Even had I found her, what I wish to know can no longer be learned from her. What I yearn for is something that I must discern for myself. You all have taught me that.
Huh. I guess you've changed a little too, Theodore?
Do I seem so? Watching you has broadened my spectrum a bit. No, a great deal.
Yeah. I figured something out during all this fighting, too.
Oh? May I ask what that is?
Oh, sure. It ain't anything mind-blowing, though. I just felt that the bonds you form with people get passed along and only keep spreading.
I see. That is intriguing.
Yukun and the others got hurt trying to save me. I want to save Shokun, even if it hurts me. We all keep butting heads over and over, but the banner of friendship ain't just for show. It's what lets you go against someone while still trusting in them.
My, how surprising. Your expression is completely different from the last time I met you.
You think so? I can't tell for myself.
There's no doubt. You've likely grown during these events. That must be it.
Grown.
Now I'm a machine. I have a cold metallic body, and it'll be an eternity before that changes. But if Theodore says I've grown, then he must be talking about my heart. The warm memories that everyone has given me. It's not just some data that was inserted into my memory. It's ingrained into me. Somewhere much deeper within myself.
While I watched you, I was thinking to myself as well. What is the reason you fight? What supports you? And what do you wish to protect through these battles? I have a feeling that I'm coming close to reaching the answer, even if I only have a faint idea for now.
Huh?
Doing something for someone else. All of you gathered here are connected by that common thread of emotion. You call them bonds. And those bonds guide you towards what you wish for.
Our wishes.
And my sister must have left that room with a wish, just like you. That is how I understand it.
He's right. Theodore's words illuminate my own inner feelings. What we yearn for, what we believe in, that's what we wish to show Shokun. They're all our own wishes. How we think about someone and do things for those people. It's because we wish for that person to be better, for the whole world to shine just a little bit brighter. And now I'm wishing that Shokun can learn how wonderful this world truly is.
Thanks, Theodore. You're awesome.
Huh? I'm awesome?
Haha, the blush.
That's so. It does have a nice ring to it, though. Oh, I shouldn't be keeping you here. You're going to go fulfill your wish, no? Please, proceed.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Theodore.
I wish you luck.
That's a fun little conversation there. With those final words, Theodore disappears, melting into the fog. A powerful enemy waiting for me up ahead may swallow me whole, but I won't lose. I have the wishes of everyone supporting me. I'm sure those wishes will reach Shokun's heart as well. I thank Theodore for boosting my spirits as I pick up the pace and climb the stairs with a clear head.
There it goes again.
Another quake rocks the tower, and I have to crouch down to keep from staggering. Feels like these earthquakes are growing more and more frequent, even as the shaking itself grows stronger and stronger. No doubt that incredibly, indescribably powerful force is getting closer and closer.
Lapras! Can you hear me?
Fukusan, these tremors are crazy. Are you all okay?
Tons of shadows are pouring out and... Don't worry, I'm with the others.
It seems Fukusan's group had been trying to catch up with us after Yukon and the others recovered enough to move on. They were about halfway up the tower, a ton of shadows suddenly started to attack them. And right now they're preventing those shadows from coming up through the tower towards us.
Anyway, I got in contact with Kikuno-san earlier. There's something I need to tell you.
Oh yeah, the password.
I discovered the password to the file that I gave you before. It's King of the Fall.
The files on the memory card that Kikuno-san had given to me before I left the helicopter. Forgot all about them during the fierce battles I'd been into up until now. Those files might contain the clues that lead to bringing this case to an end.
Thanks, Fukusan. I'll give it a try.
She told me that Mitsuru-senpai figured it out. We're counting on you, Lapras.
After Mitsuru-san and the others rescued the rest of the Inaba prisoners at Junes, they strive to make it back to the tower in order to intercept the shadows flooding the town and converging on this place. A sigh of relief over hearing that everyone is safe, I find the protected file and try to use the password Fukusan gave me. Password accepted. Opening file.
This...
I instantly have access to the full contents of the data. The log file seems to be the details of Shuji Ikutsuki's personal experiments. The dates are marked as taking place in 1999, and the test subject's name is Sho Minazuki.
A strong reading is getting close. Lapras, be careful!
I continue reviewing the data while Fukusan cautions me, and I prepare for another fight. The stairs eventually come to an end. A bizarre sight, quite different from anything I'd seen up until now, leaps into view.
What is this place?
The strong wind blowing here keeps the fog from becoming too thick. This wide space is made of what appears to be red marble, and vibrant green patterns run through it like blood vessels. Pillars that appear to be stylized flames stand around us, casting eerie shadows onto the lustrous floor. Floating near the center is a crystalline object that appears to be slightly taller than I am. It emits a bluish-green light. On closer inspection, I can see golden particles clinging to the rotating object. Oh, interesting. You can see the left side is cracked from where Adachi shot it earlier. Are those Sona fragments from our past fights? As I walk step by step across the hard red floor, I approach the young man standing by the crystal. At his heel is a man in a suit. Who could that be? Oh, okay, yes, Adachi. Beginning facial scan. Searching records. Result found. Toru Adachi, the man who was arrested last year as the perpetrator of the case that Yukon and his friends solved? What could he possibly be doing here?
You again, you goddamn robot? Damn you for coming all this way. This son of a bitch betrayed me too. All of you are completely useless. And I can't even get an answer from him either.
I don't know what happened before I got here, but Shokin seems furious. He places a foot on Adachi-san's body and leans heavily on it. Adachi-san groans faintly. It looks like he's alive, but unconscious.
Hey, scrap for brains. What happened to him? Where the hell's Minazuki?
I don't know. He fought us, and...
Huh? You guys did something to him? Bullshit, that's impossible! He's strong. As strong as me. And there's no way in hell that he'd lose to some goddamn pest like you!
Shokun, there's something I want you to hear. It's about your father.
Shokun is currently very unstable, much like when I met him earlier, averting his eyes from the truth and trying to forget everything about himself. How he is right now is how I used to be just a short while ago, before I met Yukun and Mitsuru-san. I was able to overcome it thanks to everyone, but Shokun is cowering just like I was. And knowing that the truth Fukasan entrusted me with him may hurt him more, makes my heart ache.
Shuji Ikutsuki, your father, embedded a plume of dusk into your body for his own research. But because the persona ability didn't awaken in you, you entered a vegetative state. And then Ikutsuki threw you away. Is that right?
Just when I was wondering what shit you were gonna spew after coming all this way. Did you come to rub salt in my wounds, you goddamn bastard? Yeah, that's right. That piece of shit tossed me aside. He was the only one. The only one in my world, and he did that to me. I already know that he was a goddamn bastard, so what? It doesn't matter. He was all that I had in the world.
Shokun.
This world's so fun, isn't it? Full of shitty bastards, always pressing in on you. It's so awesome. I'd rather be alone forever than spend another second having to deal with another dipshit ever again. So you can all just disappear.
That ain't true. You don't really want to be alone at all.
Huh? You broken piece of junk. Have you finally lost it for good? I won't be totally alone. I'll be beside myself, laughing at how stupid you are.
Huh?
It's a micro-memory card. Your father, Shuji Ikutsuki, recorded the experiments he did to you on it. Listen to this, from a report on Project Puppet Master.
Subject name, Sho Minazuki. Soon after beginning his training, his abilities have reached what one would call an astounding level. Muscle strength, agility.
It is weird
Physically,
not to
he
hear the
surpasses
original
normal
Ikutsuki voice
specimens.
actor.
Special mention must be made of his abnormally aggressive nature.
It's not surprising they didn't get back the same guy, but it does feel a little
For
off.
example, in
Especially
combat
considering they're
training,
using the original
Sho will
portraits
attempt to
from
utterly
Persona 3.
destroy his opponent until we force him to stop. The depth of his fury is unfathomable, but having no rational or mental breaks based on his rationality makes him an ideal weapon. Psychological analysis suggests that Sho is attempting to gain a connection to others by hurting them, as a result of our teachings. If he continues to grow, he'll be extremely valuable to our research. Luckily, the boy seems to adore me as a father figure. That will be useful.
You see? The reason you're hurting everyone is because you want a connection with them. It's because of the experiments he did on you. And because you weren't taught any other way to connect with people. That's incredibly sad.
Is that all you have to say?
Shokun!
Yeah, he's right. So what? What do you want me to do? If I really want a connection with the world, and destroying it is the only way I know how, then what's wrong with me trying to destroy everything? The same goes for you, you piece of trash. You want a connection with me? You want to bond with me? Then I'll shred you to pieces!
Shokun draws his two swords, almost spitting with rage. His eyes are clouded with madness and malevolence. His stare itself feels like blades piercing into me. Whenever Shokun gets this worked up from before, that other person would step in. But it doesn't happen now. As Shokun draws closer, the plume of dusk within me stirs a little. I whisper back to it, feeling the presence inside.
It's okay. Thanks for leaving this to me. Shokun, if you don't know any other way, then I'll go head-to-head with you your way. And then, I'll make sure you hear me out.
Okay. Oh, that was kind of interesting. Gives us a bit of a deeper look into Sho's character than we got in the P4 storyline.
Give it up! Give it up!
Bullshit! What a full power beast! Shut up! Shut up!
Give it up! Give it up!
Bullshit!
Take care!
I'm gonna kill you! Shut up!
That was close! Give it up!
God damn it!
Okay. Yeah, definitely not as hard as the previous fight, considering he couldn't use his persona.
No, it's not over yet. I have nothing. No one at all. If this shitty world won't give me anything, then I'm gonna see it destroyed, no matter what!
Shokun is on his knees. He desperately tries to regain his feet by leaning on his swords, his face contorted in pain. The dangerous aura I felt from before that battle isn't weakening. Contrary, it's becoming stronger.
Shokun, do you really think you were alone?
Of course I was. What do you know? I was always...
No, Shokun. You were never alone. There's more in that file. Do you remember why you went into that coma?
How should I know? I took the medicine Ikutsuki gave me, went into a machine, and...
It was an experiment Ikutsuki set up to erase Minazuki-kun.
Dad tried to erase him? Why?
After transplanting the Plume of Dusk, you didn't awaken to a persona. Ikutsuki's plan was already a bust at that point. But after a while, Ikutsuki learned there was another personality in you, inside the Plume of Dusk. That was the change in you. At first, it seems like Ikutsuki was interested in that other you, too. But the new you was different, and wouldn't listen to what Ikutsuki said at all. That other you awakened to a persona, destroyed the test facility, and then tried to kill Ikutsuki.
Huh? Bullshit! That's not true! Why would he try to kill my dad?
You really can't figure it out? Minazuki was trying to protect you.
Huh?
Shokun could only find a connection with other people by hurting them. As a result, that distanced him from everyone. Feeling that the world had rejected him, Shokun tried to destroy the world instead. But Minazuki-kun had supported Shokun through all of this, that other self, and said that he would fight for the boy. Minazuki-kun feels the same way that Shokun does. The only way to do anything is through hurting others. But he's doing it to protect Shokun.
He was still unstable then and got captured. After that, Ikutsuki tried to erase Minazuki-kun while leaving the persona. Do you get it now, Shokun? It was Minazuki-kun and his...
I feel like this is important. Isn't this power of a bond thing, like, the blatantly correct choice? Isn't this just the blatantly correct choice? I mean, I'll take it. It's...
power of a bond that supported you.
That's bullshit. That's not...
Shokun claps his head in his hands and falls to his knees. My heart hurts. This is Shokun's pain. Shokun's world consists of being denied by everyone and only being accepted by the other person within him, Minazuki-kun. I've mercilessly shattered that. I'm trying to draw him into our world, the real world, a world that is nothing but a place of fear to him. I know how difficult it is for him to accept it.
Ha! What's this sob story going on over here?
General Teddy suddenly appears behind Shokun. Something's not right. I never sensed his presence here before. General Teddy should be a fake version of Teddy, turned from a shadow. I turned my sensors towards him again, but that wrong feeling I sensed when I met him in the classroom has gotten even stronger. I can't put into words. It's a very ominous presence.
Aha! Has the stupid brat been beaten? You're disqualified from the P1 climax. Now hurry up and get out of here.
Kagutsuchi.
Kagutsuchi? General Teddy, so you really weren't...
Oh, poor little shut-in Sho-chan. Was Labby-chan mean to you? Are you gonna have to go back to the hospital again? You don't have to worry. Guess what? I'll set you free.
General Teddy, step away from Shokun.
are the champion of the P1 Climax, Labby-chan. Congratulations! Your prize is death.
General Teddy viciously grabbed Shokun by the head from behind, effortlessly lifting him up with one arm. Suspended in midair, Shokun's face cringes in pain. What an unimaginable strength.
Ah! Shokun! Who in the world are you? What are you gonna do with Shokun?
What am I going to do? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to kill him. I'll grant this brat what he wants. A world of solitude. But I'll be the only one there. It will be a world all for myself, where only I exist.
General Teddy's tone changes. An ominous and hatred-filled voice reaches my ears, echoing as if reaching me from the very depths of hell. I know this voice. When I was forced into sleep in the laboratory in Yakushima, I had a dream. And in that dream, a voice echoed in my head. Oh yeah, all the way back at P4 Arena, like 3 weeks ago, whatever that happened. This voice tempted me to forget everything, to shut myself away in a distorted world that reflected only my desires. It's that same voice.
Don't tell me. Are you...
That's right. This red fog and the brat's power were on loan from me. At least you worked quite well for me.
Wait. So the thing Minazuki-kun was talking about waking at this tower is...
Hey, Will. How's it
You
going?
finally figured it out. Fortunately, the horde of shadows to create a vessel and the persona fragments to control it have been gathered. All that's left is to fuse that brat with the shadows as a base, and then devour the persona fragments to inhabit my new corporeal form. I pay no heed to others. I am the collective will of those who abandon all connections and strive to live only for themselves. I incinerate everything. I will murder, trample, and cast you humans down into the depths of despair. My name is Hino Kagutsuchi, one who kills all who live in this world.
Yeah, you're coming in at the end of the story here.
Shokun!
As I try to rush towards him, the empty husk that General Teddy's body has become crumbles into a black lump of a shadow. At the same time, Shokun, or whatever he is now, turns its evil red gaze towards me. His power is immensely stronger than Shokun's or Minazuki-kun's. My entire metal body shrieks as I'm twisted in directions that I was never meant to go.
Don't worry. I won't let you die so quickly. You will live to witness my advent, and will be the first sacrifice to my power.
I'll never let you do that! Give Shokun
Yeah, it is pretty good. I have to go back and remember to finish it, actually. I didn't finish it at the time because I didn't finish Arena story yet, but now I'm almost done with Ultimax's story, so I should go back and finish it. Yeah, it's the last battle version as well.
You all fought so long within this red fog, just as I planned.
They use a lot of mix of P3 and P4 music, especially in Ultimax.
You have no hope of defeating me now. You were quite useful, puppet. I had directed you with them with the aim of harvesting their personas at first, though.
the other tournament, and this one too. So you were the real one behind these battles!
Yes, I needed a vessel. Had I taken their shadows for my own, their own wills would have made them less obedient than I required.
I learned that in the previous battles. Thus did I prepare this fog, and my new scheme to carve away at your personas. Personas are the suppressed strength of heart. Nothing is better suited to suppress the will of shadows than that.
So that's why you made us fight!
Yeah, I think they also use some P3 songs in the original Persona 4 when you go to Iwatodai as well. I glanced towards the crystal floating up above. So that's the collection of persona fragments that had been carved away from us. And now enough of them have been gathered. This power will be what brings destruction upon this world. The final piece required to create the vessel for a god. Oop, animated cutscene? Yep.
Now is the time for despair. This new form that you have given me. Behold it!
Oh gosh, the final boss again. You know, it's a shame the final boss is so poorly designed. Not from a, like, art design standpoint, but from, like, a gameplay standpoint. This boss is very poorly designed. A low-pitched laugh echoes across the arena as a blast of heat rages from the enormous body that appears. A god that is manifested, using shadows as its vessel. Since I was created to be an anti-shadow weapon, I look on what could be considered my arch nemesis.
This can't be.
A being that could incinerate the world. His powers are so tremendous that it could perform such an outrageous deed. Its roar shakes the air, and there's a heat like scorching flame. My sensors show that it's fully manifested. My legs won't move. At this rate, I'll be destroyed by it too. As a recoil and trepidation, mysterious voices, unlike those of normal persona communications, echo through me.
Labrys, don't give up! We're all cheering you on!
Labrys, leave this place to us. Once this is all over, we'll have a party and celebration.
I'm positive you can do this, Labrys. We'll take care of all these shadows.
Don't worry, Labrys. You're not alone.
Close my eyes and imagine the faces of everyone I've met since my awakening. Everyone who had accepted me, everyone who had given me a place to belong. And because everyone is fighting below me right now, I'm able to stand here.
This is all on you, Labrys. You promised that you'll come back no matter what.
We won't lose! Labrys, please win this for us!
We're counting on you, Labrys-san. Please protect our world.
All the friends that I met in Nineveh, and my companions who trust in me to finish the job before me. Their voices give me strength.
We'll make sure to hold them back here! You can win this, Labrys!
Labrys, we're entrusting this to you. Our thoughts are with you.
Let us handle things here. You have your own role to carry out.
Don't you dare tell us that you're giving up on this now. We'll do our best to give you time.
Labby-chan! Your knight is on your side!
Get a grip, Labrys. We're fighting with you too.
Please win this, Labrys! Sister, we're all waiting for your return. Let's fight this together.
It's okay. They might not be right next to me, but I can still sense them. I won't lose. Everyone is on my side.
I'm not alone!
I mean, we probably will lose, and then I'll have to turn the difficulty down because this boss sucks. But seriously. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. This boss sucks, by the way. Oh, jeez. Yes, yes. We're just gonna go back, over here. Yeah, no, this boss sucks. It absolutely sucks. And you have to fight it, like, 3 separate times. This is the, like, third, time I'm seeing this boss. So I'm just gonna turn it back down to normal again. But yeah, you have to fight this thing 3 separate times, and every single time it sucks. So I'm just gonna turn it back down to normal for now. I'll turn it back up to hard next time we get to a fight.
Summoning! Summoning!
the main problem with this boss is that A, it can only be damaged by persona combos, but the game never tells you that, and it has an invisible health bar that the game never shows you. So this is the optimal way to kill it. It's actually pretty good. I do enjoy it. The Adachi story here. It's pretty good. It's interesting.
A single will was able to surpass mine.
You can't hear the voices of everybody who's supporting me. You'll never win against us, Hino Kagutsuchi!
Silence, pest. I will not lose. I am stronger than anything.
The design is cool and everything. It's just that the boss design, like from a gameplay standpoint, sucks for a lot of reasons.
How could I fall to this trickery of fans?
It'd be interesting to see this plot reimagined as like a full like JRPG plot. You'd probably have to restructure some things with the story, but yeah, I feel like it'd be fun. It'd be fun to fight like all the shadow versions of yourself and stuff. The crumbling corpse disintegrates before me. I can't take another step. All I can do is gaze up at Hino Kagutsuchi's body as it falls apart into thin air before me.
That was marvelous indeed. These events were truly an ordeal.
Hey, it's Elizabeth. The area is filled with silence once the battle ended, but a familiar voice ends it. I turn to see a young woman in a blue dress standing nearby.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
Though what you just defeated now was different in form, it appeared to be another embodiment of man's consciousness that wishes for death. And suffice to say, I had my own reason to witness its end.
A reason?
To abolish others also means to abolish oneself. That great power was also an embodiment of a distorted will, given birth by dissatisfaction. If left alone, it would eventually have become a great stagnation, leading to the destruction of the world, even the world within people's hearts.
The world within people's hearts? You mean that place I met you the other time?
Indeed. And if that were to happen, it would be a hindrance to my own wish as well.
You have a wish.
Elizabeth smiles and quietly closes her eyes. Her expression is gentle, as if thinking of someone precious to her. I was told that Elizabeth had gone on a journey in search of power. What she tells me is always vague, and I don't understand everything she says, but she harbors a wish for someone else. What kind of person would she think of as precious? Is she also searching for what she can do to help that person? Seeing her softened expression makes me think back on my own wish. Yes, once this is all over, I should go and see that girl. Yeah, okay, so they finally bring that up again. I was really hoping we'd see some more of that. The whole, like, basis and everything. Yeah, Labrys's, like, backstory is really interesting, but they mostly didn't threw it away after the base arena. We haven't heard anything about it, Ultimax.
Maybe I'm out of my league here, but I hope your wish comes true soon.
It honors me to hear those words. I wish to express my gratitude to you as well.
You mean thank me? Why?
In this turbulence, you showed me an unknown, miraculous power that cannot be attained alone. I firmly believe that that power will be a solid guide to the distant journey that I must take. And thus, I thank you from the depths of my heart.
Elizabeth bows deeply to me. Oh, I didn't do anything. I should be the one thanking her.
Oh no, I really didn't.
This place will disappear momentarily. Well, until we meet again someday, Labrys. Actually, there is something I'd like to ask you before I go, just in case. Shall I transport your friends to somewhere safe?
That's right. The tower's already begun to crumble. My friends and I could have never gotten out before the place becomes truly dangerous. I hurriedly respond to Elizabeth as politely as possible.
That would be wonderful. Please do.
Very well. Then I shall...
Elizabeth?
Now that I think of it, where would a safe place be?
This place is gonna crumble soon, so anywhere else is fine. Could you hurry, please?
Oh, yes! That reminds me. There is one place where there would be no trouble if I were to send such a bizarre group of people there. I will now transport your companions. Well then.
Where's she gonna dump us? To Ness, maybe? My vision grows hazy as she speaks. That's why I remember something. What about Shokun and Adachi-san? If they're not transported too, they'll be killed when the tower collapses.
Hold on, Elizabeth!
Whether or not she understood my thoughts, Elizabeth smiled at me before everything is blanketed by a bright light. So where did she dump us? Mission complete. Alright, looks like we're finishing the story today. As for the true ending, I guess we'll see if it's just like an epilogue or if it's like more fighting and stuff. If it's more fighting and stuff, we'll leave it for next week. If it's like its own branch, but otherwise we can finish it today. Yeah. The light fades and the scenery around me is completely different. This location is familiar. This is the TV world in the open space where everyone gathered.
Huh? Is this inside the TV?
I guess this would be a good place to dump everybody.
That's right. Where's everyone else? Where's Shokun?
I look over and see Shokun collapse on the ground a little farther away. Oh, thank goodness. That was quite mean of Elizabeth. She only mentioned my companions. So I was worried about what would happen to Shokun. I see. Elizabeth said she would transport my companions. I mean, she considers Shokun to be one of my companions as well. I don't see Adachi-san anywhere, but this is Elizabeth we're talking about. I'm sure she transported him to someplace else too. Anyway, I worry about how Shokun isn't moving from the ground, and I quickly rush to his side.
Shokun!
When I call to him, he slowly stands up, facing away from me. He looks around himself without a word, and then looks down at the ground and quietly mumbles.
Shut up, Scrap. Enough yapping.
I couldn't help it. Not when I knew you were safe.
Hey, did you kill that thing?
Huh?
Did you destroy Hinokagutsuchi? Can't you understand words?
Oh, yeah.
You're strong.
Huh?
God damn it, do I have to say everything to you twice, you piece of junk? Never mind, you stupid toaster.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only one to call the Aiga sisters toasters. He's still yelling at me, but Shokun does seem a little different from how he'd been before the fight. His voice and expression, too. Maybe it's just my imagination. He doesn't seem like he's going to get violent, either. For now, that is.
Shokun, where you going?
It's none of your business. If you don't shut the hell up, I'm gonna cut you.
But everyone's waiting for you. I'm sure Mitsuru-san and her people are
Shut the hell up. I'm not gonna start listening to what anyone wants now. Go back to where you belong.
Shokun!
Hey, Scrap.
Shokun makes as if to leave this place, and stops to talk to me. It seems he's remembered something. I'm actually a little surprised that he's talking to me.
Oh, yes?
Yes. Seriously?
Is that the first time we've
Now
seen
you
him
can't even
smile?
speak properly. Oh man, it's too much.
I mean, like, actually smile.
You don't have to laugh that much.
Oh, damn it. You really are broken, aren't you? Hey, do you think even now he might be...
Huh?
Never mind. See you later, robot. You'd better have your damn oil changed or something.
Huh? Oh!
Before I can think of something else to say, Shogun's already getting far away. What should I do? This is inside the TV world, after all. But Pasha's much more confident compared to when I first saw him. He has his own future waiting for him now. I'm sure there'll be mountains of painful difficulties waiting. There's even the possibility that we might end up facing him again as an enemy. But even then, that's okay. Even though it was only for a short time, I sense a bond between myself and him. If I don't give up, and if I keep wishing for his success, a day may come where we reach an understanding. But I don't get an oil change during a maintenance routine. Suddenly, several shining figures appear within the room here in the TV world. When the light around them dims, I recognize familiar faces. My companions, who have finished fighting their own fierce battles, gather one after another.
Huh? What's going on? I thought the fog suddenly lifted, but where am I?
Labrys, you're okay! Oh, I'm so relieved that I can't stand up.
Labrys-san, thank you. I believed in you. I knew that you could do it.
I wish you could have seen us, Labby-chan. Shadow Operative Junpei Iori totally nailed it.
Why is he also calling her Levy-chan?
Whoa! What a soft yet stinky landing spot. Oh my, this is inside the TV! Wowee! Yuka-chan, Ken, Koromaru's here too! Is everyone okay?
Are we? This is a normal TV entrance. Oh, it would seem everything has been settled.
Sister, I'm so glad you're okay. Still, I knew you would be able to overcome this. I'm going to have to try harder to keep up with you.
Yeah, there's a mod that changes Metis into Labrys for Persona 3 Reload. We're definitely gonna have to try that out once we get through the main story of Persona 3 Reload's DLC. Probably this weekend. Yeah, we'll have to try that out next weekend. Maybe when we do the, like, Joker fight and stuff. That'd be fun. Maybe we should try out some other mods, too.
You definitely showed us your resolve back there, Labrys.
I gotta play a little bit more of the DLC tonight. Get ready for Saturday. That way I'm not playing it like 2 days in a row. I try and get like that kind of stuff done before Friday. So like I said, I'm not playing like, you know, 5 hours of the game on Friday, and then I'm playing like another 8 hours of it on Saturday and Sunday.
You did splendidly. We would have been in danger had you not been with us. You haven't been with the Shadow Operatives for very long, but you've already become our ace in the hole. I'll continue counting on you, Labrys.
Labrys, I sensed everything! It was really amazing! Labrys! I was so impressed that you beat such an immense enemy all by yourself.
No, it was thanks to all of you. I only beat him down because you were with me. Thanks, guys.
Another group of shining figures appears. This time it's Yukon's group, appearing along with Fukasan. It seems they were fighting the shadows closing in on the tower when they too were suddenly enveloped by light and taken to this place.
Now that was suspenseful. You did an amazing job. We're definitely throwing a celebration party.
That sounds wonderful. We have quite the group here together after all. Labrys, thank you for all your hard work. Are you okay, Labrys? Are you hurt anywhere? I mean, you were really amazing!
Thanks, Labrys. The town should return to normal now. It's all thanks to you.
Yukon.
Had I not come here, everyone in Ninapa would have continued leading peaceful lives. Eternally, I was afraid to learn what he truly thought of me. That was when Ken told me I should go to him and myself and find out how he feels. He was right. Just seeing the kindness in Yukon's eyes right now makes me feel like there's no need to hear what he thinks about me in words. The relief of this painful battle coming to an end mixes with the joy of discovering new and true friends. My happiness proves to be contagious, and before long we're all talking animatedly with each other. After some time, Mitsuru-san approaches me. Her expression seems rather meek, and when she speaks to me, she seems apologetic.
Labrys, I'm sorry, but I need to hear your report. Where is Minazuki? Were you able to speak with him?
Oh, yes, but only for a little while. But before you all came here, he... Oh.
When I begin my report, Akiko-san nudges me in the shoulder with his elbow. Huh? As I stand in bewilderment, Mitsuru-san clears her throat.
Well, you know, Labrys, the Shadow Operatives are a formal organization. I am obligated to report about this case to the higher-ups.
Right. That's why I was saying, before you all came here, Shokun...
Akiko. Hey! Akiko-san nudges me in the shoulder even harder this time. Huh? What's going on? Did I say something weird?
You're even more naive than I am. You really are like a child when it comes to these things.
There are just some things you don't want to be honest about at times like this. That's why you just gotta dodge the question. And ow!
Junpei, don't start teaching Labrys stuff like that. We don't want her becoming more like you.
Ow! What was that for? You're scarier than the shadows.
I didn't ask properly. Shadow Operative Labrys, do you know where Minazuki went?
I'm sorry, I don't know where he went.
Oh.
The moment I answer them, they all sound relieved. For some reason, even Akihiko-san and Mitsuru-san are smiling in a satisfied manner. Could it be they actually want me to say I don't know where he went?
I see. Normally, we'd have to send someone to track him down, but if you don't know, then there's nothing to be done about it. I will report this case to our authorities, and the Shadow Operatives will take responsibility for it. All of us.
Mitsuru-san!
Oh, I get it now. If Shokun, who was the person behind such serious cases as this, were to be captured, it'd be dealt with quite severely. And even if Shokun were to meet with Mitsuru-san and the others right now, he'd surely get angry like he was a moment ago, and it wouldn't be much of a conversation. But if we Shadow Operatives pursue him ourselves, we'll have tons of opportunities to get Shokun to open up to us. Mitsuru-san, everyone, thank you.
Hey, what are you guys doing? We're gonna leave you behind if you don't hurry up.
The others, who are a bit farther away, call out to us. Seems the time for us to part is drawing close once again. But since we're connected by bonds, we'll be able to see each other anytime we want. We'll just be physically distant for a short while.
Are we really getting out from here? I'm feeling really anxious about this.
Oh? Are you scared, Junpei? That's pretty lame for a big boy like you.
Don't mind me for going on ahead.
Please excuse us.
Everyone from Inaba jumps through the exit TV, one after another, as if they're completely used to it. I mean, they are. Yeah, they are completely used to it. Mitsuru-san, Aigis, and Akihiko-san, and Fuka-san, who have also experienced this once, go on as well.
Alright, Koromaru, we should go too.
Well, I guess I'd better go for it. Here goes.
Come on, Junpei. Hurry up. Come on, get going.
Hey, right already. This is my first time. Put me down. No!
Teddy grabs Junpei-san and manhandles, well, bear handles, him through the TV screen. I see what you did there. Junpei-san's shout grows more distant. Teddy then beckons to me before passing into the TV as well. I place my hand over the TV screen, and in the now empty plaza. Below this place is the school that I built. Now that I have a place to belong, I doubt I'll ever come here again. Goodbye. This time I went back with the others. Oh, hey! May 6th, early morning. After leaving Chunes, we heard that Kikino-san had landed the helicopter in the schoolyard at Yasugami High, so we headed back to the school. Seems after Kikino-san risked her life to drop us off at Junes, she was forced to land near the outskirts of town. Though she studied the data from Shuji Ikutsuki's files and repaired the damaged helicopter, then took off again, and was even able to help the others. Talk about a tough person! This means that we Persona users weren't the only ones fighting. The other reason why we returned to Yasugami High is because we need to check on the crime scene as members of the Shadow Operatives. We go up to the rooftop and look down at the school now that it has regained its normal form.
Ah, school. The memories places like this bring back. It's already been 3 years.
I know, right? Time goes by fast when you're living a fulfilling life.
So you have a fulfilling life too, Junpei-san? Can you teach me how to play baseball?
Oh, now you're talking. Our team trains really damn hard. I won't go easy on you. Got it?
That's what I was hoping for. I like sports after all.
By the way, Yukari, are you planning on going back looking like that?
Would everyone please stop talking about my clothes? I mean, you of all people shouldn't be talking, Akihiko-senpai.
True, he's barely wearing any.
That costume's really cool, though. Wow, feather pink. I'm standing next to a real hero!
There we go. Just be true to yourself, kid. Looking up to superheroes is what's truly childlike.
Still, you're amazing, Yukari-san. You're actually wearing the costume and acting at the same time.
That's true. Yeah, being able to like do all your own stunts and do the acting at the same time. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Normally, even female ranger characters get played by male actors during the scenes while they're in their costumes.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that you would have a stunt double. I would assume that most of the time they would prefer to have a female stunt double for like the action scenes in the costumes. And I probably later on they probably do, but like I imagine that in the early days it was probably just some guy with like a shaped upper torso from the suit itself playing the female ranger in like action scenes.
Huh? Is that for real? No. all
Oh
those
gosh,
times
Junpei, no.
Where did you hear that?
Ken-kun's a big fan of those kinds of shows. But I guess he isn't all that childish anymore. I suppose it's because it's been 3 years. It might be in poor taste to say this right after what happened here, but I'm still glad we were able to get together again like this.
Yeah, like we were guided here by fate or something. The great hero Junpei and his pals saved the world again.
Right. You probably wouldn't have even made it here if fate hadn't guided you.
Seriously, the way he ended up here is just ridiculous. Maybe we were guided here by fate. We made some new friends too, after all.
Everyone looks to me. I have so many people willing to call me a friend. It's a little embarrassing, but I can't help but smile.
Most of all, I'm happy that I met my sister. I was able to meet Yusan and the others as well. Thank you, sister.
Nah, I'm thankful for everybody else. Without you, I'd have never woken up and stayed in that box forever. I'd just be a machine that hurts people. You all accepted me for who I am and gave me a place to belong.
That's right. I have to repay everyone for all they've done for me. To Mitsuru-san and her companions for giving me this place. To everyone who made me realize that I'm never alone.
It's me.
Milady, the preparations have been made. But are you sure about this?
Yes, I'll be right there.
Huh? Where you going, Mitsuru-san?
Hey! Mitsuru-senpai, don't tell me you're going back before us.
Well, I'm sorry, but there are many things that need to be taken care of.
I knew it. I'll have you know that we all put aside our jobs and other affairs to come here. You're gonna spend some time with us, like it or not.
I do feel bad about causing you all trouble, but I guess, can't you persuade Yukari?
No, I refuse that order. This is a situation with consequences that affect our team's morale.
Give it up, Mitsuru. Don't worry about figuring everything out right now. I'll make sure things with those public safety jerks get settled.
What? There's some guys hassling you. Let me come with you. I'll tell him everything about how Mitsuru-san did her best to help.
Please, don't. Things will only get more complicated if you two get involved. Very well. I suppose I can forget about my duties for one day and enjoy some time off.
That's what I'm talking about.
You look so happy, Yukari-chan. It's been a while since I've seen you smile so much.
Huh? You think so? Do I really not smile normally?
Not that much. I mean, I guess you do, but it's more of a fake smile. Like it's.
Well, you always seem so angry, Yucatan.
That's true. That's very true.
That's because you're always making me angry.
No, it's just because you're kind of a crappy person sometimes, Yukari.
Hey, time out, Yucatan. You could really hurt me with that thing.
Our laughter echoes from the rooftop where the bright morning sunrise shines down upon us. As the lively conversation continues, I quietly place my hand on my chest. What's here right now connects me to that place. It connects me to everyone. May this warmth I feel spread to everyone else, and to him as well. Okay. So, what's this then? The epilogue? Okay, so that's the epilogue for the Persona 3 cast. Okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Might as well finish it off, right? If it's like the P4 epilogue, it shouldn't be too long. A few days after the case ends, I was feeling kind of like an empty husk. I mean, it had been a while since I'd been through anything like that. It wasn't just because I felt nostalgic, but, well, I remembered a lot of different things. Like how I don't understand a lot of stuff back then.
Your pitching sucks. Stop throwing like that.
My pitching doesn't suck. Your catching sucks. Don't think you're all cool just because you got a good hit the other day.
What did you say?
As I'm watching the kids practice, I'm not particularly paying much attention. Just when I think things are getting peaceful, squabble starts up. Well, it's a coach's job to settle things like this.
Hey, break it up. What's going on here?
Stay out of this, Junpei.
Coach Junpei, right? So, what's up?
He blames me because he can't catch.
It's because you got no control. Everybody knows it.
The other kids all stop practicing and gather around the argument. These kids have way too much energy and get into fights frequently, so I need to mediate this conflict in a mature, dignified way in order to be a good example. Don't pick up on that kind of stuff, you
Hey,
know.
listen up. The most important thing in baseball is teamwork. No matter how good you might be alone, you'll never win a game by yourself. You can't play baseball if you're the only one on the field, right?
Of course not.
Right, well, that's just common sense. But if you keep putting the blame on other people, you're gonna end up all alone eventually. If you think the pitcher has no control, then you gotta try to work hard to catch anything, no matter what he throws your way. And if you think the catcher blows meaty chunks, try throwing balls that even the worst catcher can grab. If you both practice together like that, then everyone gets better and the entire team gets stronger. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Go me! I wonder if these guys will ever look back on these days and think that they never understood what was going on. I bet they will. Just like me. I gave them a good talking to, and since this was a great place to end for today, I called today's practice over. It is interesting to see that he has taken kind of like a leadership, like coach role here. Because he did want to be the leader back in the day. Even if he wasn't like quite mature enough to do so for most of the game. I think he could have been a pretty good leader by the end of Persona 3. But he definitely was not mature enough emotionally or mentally to be able to handle being a team leader, I think. As everyone who says goodbye and goes their separate ways, one of the kids doesn't leave. Is that Goro? It looks a lot more humble than usual. Noticing slight changes in your players is one of the things that makes me a great coach.
Hey, aren't you going home?
Junpei, do you have a girlfriend?
What? What's he asking me all that for all of a sudden? These kids these days.
I didn't think so.
Hey, what's with the attitude? That's really rude, you know.
There's a girl I like, but she's gonna move away. I didn't know and we got in a fight.
Fight?
I thought we'd make up like we always do. Even when we get in fights, things always go back to normal in a few days. But when I heard she was transferring to another school, I got worried about what would happen if I couldn't make up with her.
Well, the answer here is obvious. You have to nut up and apologize to her. It doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. That'll fix everything.
That's so lame. I can't do that.
Lame, not lame. Is that your problem here? This isn't the time to care about looking cool. Not when it involves something you care about. If you and her end up going separate ways without telling her how you really feel, you're gonna regret it for a long, long time.
But what if we get in another fight?
Goro drops his eyes again. Well, that's this kid's bad habit. He acts all tough, but when things matter most, his timid side comes out. Aren't you the team's cleanup hitter? You gotta strengthen your resolve. I guess I better do the coach thing and encourage him. But the way Goro's hanging his head makes me a little uncomfortable deep down. Why? My own words are coming back to haunt me. Regret not telling someone your feelings before you have to part, huh? Yeah. That grand slam I whacked in my dream, I can still feel it in my hands. And I got up on the platform for the MVP interview. At that time, it ended before I could say it. This time, when I still haven't answered his question, Goro appears in my face. Oh well, guess I need to strengthen my own resolve. I look at the empty outfield and picture myself in that dream.
If you get a hit, you'll be a hero. Are you gonna try for a grand slam?
Goro seems dazed for a second at my sudden enthusiasm, but his clouded face quickly breaks into a bright smile and he's his tough old self again.
Grand slam. All right, I'll go do it.
Goro's going for the grand slam with his girlfriend, huh? I don't know if I should call him an optimist or if he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but at least it looks like I got through to him. In which case, I think it's time for the ace slugger swings for the fences too.
All right.
After high-fiving Goro, I grab my stuff and run for the station. This time I won't oversleep. That's fun. I like that Junpei is moving forward with his life and everything. Oh hey, it's the pier. The view from the pier matches an old memory of mine. The color of the sky, the ocean, the sound of the waves. It's the first time in years I've come back to this place.
Whoa, this brings back memories. How long has it been since we were here? We were second years in high school, wasn't it?
It would be 3 years ago. It was the summer of 2009.
Only 3 years,
Do
huh?
you remember?
It feels more like 10.
A lot has happened since then.
I see. Now that I think about it, you haven't returned to Yakushima since then either.
We leave the beach and follow a woodland path. The virgin forest is filled with lush greenery. The air is cool and clean. We're headed to the remains of the ergonomics research lab.
You want to go to Yakushima?
Yes, if possible, that is.
I don't believe there's anything left there aside from warehouses, though.
Yes, I understand that.
I guess I have no intention of preventing you from going there. But may I ask why?
I have wanted to go back for a while now. That was when my sister's case began, so I thought that now would be a good opportunity. I wanted to see for myself what led to my birth.
I think it's a good idea.
Yukari-san.
Isn't it normal to want to know about things like that? We're talking about your roots here.
I see.
Actually, I was just thinking about taking a vacation too. That battle from the other day was a lot more grueling than I imagined it would be.
As Yukari-san says, it truly was a fierce battle. Because I was severely damaged, my maintenance had to go on for a good deal longer than usual, and I spent a long time in the repair bay. That's why I've been longing to feel the light of the sun. I'm unsure if Yukari-san knows I feel this way, but she smiles.
Hey, Igus, why don't we go together? And it'd be nice if we could stay at your summer house, like we went to before, Mitsuru-senpai.
No, Mitsuru-san smiles knowingly. She readily agrees to our request.
The last time we lived together was back when we were roommates during our 3rd year of high school.
You're right.
That brings back memories. I told you to stop being so overly polite because it made you stick out in class. And yet, you never did.
After passing through the forest, we reach a desolate area with debris scattered about. I recognize this wall from Arena Story. It has been a good chunk of time. If I look at my Steam stats for this game... Hold on, now I'm kind of curious. Sorry, I know it's going to pause the game a sec, but... or at least this sound. Library. Arena. Yeah, it's been 53 hours. I legitimately... I have played JRPGs that I've played for a short amount of time and have less story time than this fighting game. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I remember this from towards the end of Persona 4 Arena Story. This have been the outer wall that surrounded the research site? The entire thing has collapsed and it's been overtaken by wild plant growth.
So this is the place.
I correlate what I see with the data about the site and confirm that this place is where the combat testing grounds have been. We pass through the gates and we pass through where the gates were and proceed further inside. We walk through the facility for a while when an old white dog runs up to us and barks. Feels as if the dog isn't barking at us to warn or frighten us away, but is more welcoming, even greeting us. Snowy! Holy cow! I can't believe that dog is still alive.
A dog?
I try to match the dog to the data I have regarding Yakushima, cross-referencing appearance, attempting to match vocal recording.
Snowy?
Huh? Do you know this dog?
Nope. But kind of.
No, not as such.
I quickly find a record of this dog. There's no doubt that this dog is Snowy. The same animal that my sister made friends with. He's still okay after all these years.
He appears to be the dog my sister became attached to in the past. It seems he can tell that I'm like her.
Huh?
Snowy wags his tail and comes over to happily nuzzle me. He appears to be welcoming me, though we never actually met before. I can't communicate clearly with him the way I can with Koromaru-san. Still, his actions are easy enough to understand. I crouch down and gently pet him.
It would appear that this place and what happened here are part of my own roots after all.
What do you mean?
In the past, I thought that my ability to communicate with animals was just something that I could do. It didn't seem like the people at the lab had deciphered dog language, and even then, I doubted that such an ability was necessary for a weapon. I had thought it mysterious that I was capable of doing so, but it seems that my sister can do the same thing.
Huh. So are you saying that you inherited that function from Labrys?
It's not really a function, per se.
I stop petting Snowy and stand up before taking a sweeping look around the area. Piles of debris, both large and small, are scattered about. Early summer sun shines down upon us.
It's probably something that was slowly nurtured among the 5th generation units that were housed here. Behavioral traits, like having interest in things besides missions, get passed on. And then, interest in animals, and then the ability to communicate.
I see.
After a long line of inherited system feedback, my sister gained that ability, and I, in turn, gained it from her.
So interesting. Labrys's backstory and all this stuff is so interesting. It does suck a little bit that it's not told in a particularly good way by the original Arena game.
The reason I have a special rapport with dogs out of all animals is most likely because of that process.
Wow, that's pretty deep. If it goes that far, then you're right. It's not just some function that you were intended to have. It's more like a wish.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd consider it a wish, but I understand what they're doing, trying to relate it to that word from earlier in the game. I crouch down once more and pet Snowy again. After that, I begin clearing away the mossy rubble that had been left unattended for so long. Snowy happily runs around the area that had been cleared of rubble.
Still, for the ones before Labrys who had hearts or wishes, it might be a bit sad that this place is left like this.
No, I think this is fine, considering was their cage, not their home. Just as Yukari-san says, the carelessly scattered rubble under this clear, beautiful sky only emphasizes the loneliness of this place. Snowy barks once and runs through a small hole in the passage, blocked by debris, then barks again as if motioning us to follow him. We see a shimmering yellow-green light shining through the hole he had passed through.
Huh? What's that?
I move aside more debris to make a hole large enough for a person to pass through. What we find on the other side is... Oh.
Oh.
The combat area. It's completely overgrown.
Wow, it's super pretty here. What is this place?
There's a tall cylindrical structure that looks like a greenhouse, reaching high above us. It seems this area was once indoors, but the ceiling has long since collapsed. The structure stands directly under the blue sky. The clear cylinder has literally acted as a greenhouse, allowing the area inside to grow lush green grass, trees, and vibrant flowers. Even birds and butterflies flitter around inside. This place is something like a paradise out of a children's book. But these are the remains of the anti-shock chamber, where Labrys and the other units of her model had undergone battle tests.
There are many plants here that only grow far to the south of this latitude. This building's windows seem to have coincidentally formed a greenhouse.
I take a closer look around and notice a large sword stuck into the ground in the center of the room. The unit that had used this weapon is thought to have been destroyed. The sword remains here, unchanged. Oh, right, Labrys' friend. She used a sword, didn't she?
The number 024 is stamped
Oh,
into this.
it is her sword.
It may have belonged to a unit that fought here.
That's so nice. It's so symbolic. Dude, the story for Labrys and her backstory is so good. It sucks that it's stuck in this game and is not told particularly well. Oh, no. It's one of those stories where I feel like if you cleaned it off, gave it a bit of polish, and like told it in a better way, it would be really compelling and really good. As it is, it's still pretty good, but it's just kind of like stuck underneath the way it's told, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see. It's kind of hard to believe that this place was once such a nightmare.
Once such a nightmare. As far back as my memories go, it's not wrong to say that this place was just as Yukari-san describes it. And the way this room is now, it may be a fitting tribute to my sisters who fell here, when in this very chamber. The large blade here is more than half covered with a soft green moss, and small birds are using it as perch.
Hey, I guess. Let's ask Mitsuru-senpai to keep this place like it is. Yukari-san. And why don't we bring everyone else here from time to time? Let's bring Labras next time, too.
I nod. My power is your power. That's why I will never forget you all. As the last of the anti-shadow weapon suppression weapons, I will fulfill my duty to protect my companions and my sister, protect humanity, and create a future with your memories within me.
I'm glad I came here.
That's such a nice thing. Oh, it's so good. I feel happiness in the depths of my heart and take a step forward. I raise my voice as loud as I can, so it echoes throughout the entire chamber.
Everyone, thank you.
The chirping of the birds and the sound of the waves echo on forever. That's such a nice epilogue for that. That's so good. Oh, I'm a little disappointed that we don't get to see Labras go back there, but like that was still really good. Oh, graveyard. A few days after the case was resolved, I stand before our gravesite. The marker's still new and clean.
We finally met. I'm sorry it took me so long to come.
Oh no! Yeah, I figured. I figured she'd probably be dead already, since the girl who gave her her personality base was terminally ill, it seemed. But still, I guess that's why Labras couldn't go back to the lab, because for her epilogue she has to come here. Some of my memories are those from another machine, like me, Unit 024. She and I were in the same production generation. Some of those memories are of the girl. Mitsuru-san and her people aided me in finding that girl and finding out who she was. The first words in her record, after her name, deceased. Mitsuru-san was apologetic when she told me about this, but I wasn't surprised. The girl in my memory had been in a hospital room. That's why, in my heart, I was kind of expecting things to turn out this way.
You know, there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to say, and I don't know where to start now. But thanks so much for giving me life.
It's so good. The story is so good with Labras. Labras is, it's so interesting and it's so good. But like, it's, so many people are never gonna see it all the way through completion. Because it takes like 40 some hours to get through this story. No words come back to me from the gravestone. I didn't make it in time.
I have a younger sister, and I've got companions and friends too. Because you wished for it, I have a happy life now. But there's nothing I can do to repay you.
Mommy, there's someone here.
As I was standing still, a boy approaches me and looks up with curiosity. A woman, apparently his mother, follows him and bows to me. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. It seems the family has come to visit this girl's grave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you, this girl's family?
Oh no, it's just my boy has the same illness as the girl who's here.
I look at the boy. He does seem thin, but otherwise doesn't appear to be in poor health.
The girl here agreed to submit to a great many examinations when she was young. Because of that, the doctors learned a great deal about her disease. And it's thanks to her sacrifice that my little boy is still alive today. He can even go to school.
She tells me more about her son, and then explains that they come to visit the girl's grave to thank her. After they laid the bouquet on the grave, the boy and his mother stand silently for a moment. When they leave, I'm alone in front of the grave once more. She dreamed of being useful to the world, and that wish has come true. I know she would have wanted to see the results of how she helped people, but in the end, She never could. And
I've found something I can do. Hey, can I call you Mom?
I will carry on your dream, my mother, and protect the world where all the lives you saved reside. Just as you wish for my happiness, I will wish for the happiness of all humans, and will do what I can to protect them. I'll do it to the very best of my ability. Shadow Operative. Oh, it's so good, I'm gonna cry. Oh, it's so good!
Miss Yamagishi, this is a spectacular feat. We've never had a second-year student receive the award for best paper at this school.
Thank you.
I've received an urgent summons from my lab at college and found my professor there openly praisingly.
You're already getting recruitment calls from labs and corporations, but I'd recommend that you devote yourself to studying abroad.
Abroad, you say?
I just happen to be friends with a professor who's searching for an assistant. If you wish, I can write you a letter of recommendation at once.
I hesitate a bit on how to respond to my professor's cheerful words. Why couldn't they put that at the end, gosh darn it? Now I'm all emotional, and I have to sit through another few epilogues with everybody. Ever since I entered the engineering department, things have become awkward with my parents. Though they still look pained when the subject of my not entering medical school comes up, perhaps they'll be impressed with me if I tell them I'm going to study abroad at a famous college overseas. But even if I were to leave Japan, if something were to happen to Mitsuru-san and the others, I'd show no hesitation coming back here. Even if it wasn't a case involving shadows, for example. For example, if I was told that they didn't have anyone they trusted to perform Aigis and Labrys's maintenance, I'd still feel the same. I have no intention of actually joining the Shadow Operatives, but I want to help out as much as I can until the organization's foundation becomes more secure. I'm not afraid of moving away from them, but considering what Mitsuru-san is trying to accomplish, there are a lot of things I can't help with it if I'm too far, and...
How about it, Miss Yamagishi?
I'm sorry, but I'll have to decline for now. If the time comes when I feel a need to study abroad, I'd like to ask for your assistance then.
Yeah, it's like, you're kind of springing this on her, dude.
Yes, that's what I thought. Then I'll contact them at once and... wait, you decline?
Yeah, she got more going on in her life than just you, dude.
Oh no!
Or
Classes
this.
are about to start. Please excuse me. Thank you for telling me about this.
Miss Yamagishi, wait! Hey!
I'm not staying here because I'm needed. I'm staying here because I chose to do so. There's more important things than taking a course that someone else has prepared for me.
I can study wherever I want, after all.
I joined the flow of students moving from class to class and hurried to my next class. Alright, good for Fuka. Don't get swept away by what somebody else wants you to do with your life. Good for you, Fuka. Ken? The early summer weather in Gekukan schoolyard is refreshing after school. We're absorbed in chasing the ball, like always.
Not gonna happen.
Whoa!
One of the players I'm guarding against goes flying and the game stops. Crap, did I get a little rough? Too rough? I rush over and see how he's doing.
Sorry, are you okay?
I'm fine. It wasn't a foul. That was a great tackle, Ken. You've been on fire lately.
Luckily, he doesn't seem hurt. I relax and grab his hand to pull him up with a smile.
Well, we do have a match coming up soon. Isn't our opponent supposed to be a strong team?
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's all put some more effort into this. Once more!
Keep our spirits up!
Yeah!
Sun is almost set, and it's about time to wrap up practice. I look around the school's grounds at the other teams finishing up. I can tell they're looking at someone standing in the corner of the schoolyard. Oh, it's Mitsuru. Oh man, I didn't think she'd come here wearing that battle outfit of hers. I guess I should have given more thought about where I suggested that we meet up. I regret choosing this place a little, but she'd stand out anywhere else, I guess. I guess it can't be helped. I'm the one who called Mitsuru-san here. This is the first time I've seen her in person since that case ended. I'm well aware of how busy Mitsuru-san is, but I implored her to come here today. I'm starting to feel unusually nervous, but I make up my mind and take a few deep breaths before approaching her.
Hey! Who's that beautiful
beautiful lady. Don't tell me she's Ken-kun's girlfriend.
What? No way. I'm so shocked. Doesn't she seem a little serious, though?
Mitsuru-san, thank you for coming all this way when you're so busy.
Don't worry about it. I am currently on a mission though, so I don't have a lot of time. I would like to speak with you for longer someday.
Oh, it's all right. This won't take long. I called you here so I could give you this today.
This?
I hand her a small silver badge. It's the official identification given to the members of the Shadow Operatives. When she sees it, Mitsuru-san briefly looks surprised. She looks from the badge to my face, then swallows away whatever she was about to say.
I'd like you to take it back for now. I don't need it. I promise I'll come get it again one day.
Very well. I will keep this for you.
That's right. I don't need it right now. Mitsuru-san accepts it without another word. But I bet she respects my decision. Mitsuru-san's always thinking about us. I'm sure that my actions speak louder than anything I could have said to her, and she understands perfectly. That's how it should be. Thank you, Mitsuru-san.
Hey, Ken! Let's get going!
A voice suddenly calls out to me from the school gate and breaks the silence between us. I look in that direction and see the rest of the soccer team, who have finished changing and are waiting there for me. It should be obvious that I'm in the middle of a serious conversation here, but that doesn't stop them. Well, I guess it can't be helped that they want me to hurry up. We just finished practice and we're all hungry kids. It's only natural that their stomachs are growling. I mean, mine is too.
Okay, race to the wild duck! Last one there pays! Well, I have to go. I hope you stay well until I see you again, Mitsuru-san.
Holy cow, for the entire soccer team? You better have a very good allowance from Mitsuru. In any case, since the burns on my shoulders have been lifted, I quickly bow to Mitsuru-san before rushing off with my teammates. We still have active practice Wild Dash to do. It's a famous tradition of the Gekkoukan Junior High soccer team. And again, we started this tradition on our own. We consider it one last part of our practice, so I can't allow myself to lose here either.
Huh, he laughed. But wow, don't you think Ken-kun's changed a bit lately? Really? Like how?
For reals. He used to be all, I don't know, cold. But lately, he's been in high spirits. It's like he learned how to be normal, right?
This is the end of everything besides the true ending. I did Arena, I did, 4, and then Adachi, and then this is the end of the
He
P3,
does
so.
act more naturally than before. I like it.
3 years ago, we forged a bond through our long and severe battles. That bond is still very important to me, but if I let myself get too caught up in that bond, I'll end up missing out on things in my own life. I think I was able to change because I realized that. I sense that my bond with the others has remained unchanged, but more than that, I sense I've grown in myself as well, even if only a little. What's best for me right now is to spend my days doing what I can, without rushing through life. What happens to me now will surely affect my future. That's what I've come to realize. And acting that way will be my way of fulfilling the duty that was left to me. Goromaru appears from a side street and magnificently runs past us. Goromaru's been showing up like this from time to time and racing us to the burger place. I remember thinking this during the recent battles, but even though Goromaru is quite old, he doesn't seem that way. I bet he's determined not to let his kids beat him either. Well, if he's challenging me, I can't just let him win without a fight. I pick up the pace and chase after the white furry shape ahead of me. Who do we still have left? Mitsuru and...
Target acquired. Commencing capture now.
Icus?
I thought I was well concealed in the crowd in front of the station, but I guess comes charging towards me. The people around me draw back, and people walking by stare dumbfounded. Hey! Akihiko's finally wearing a shirt! Look at that! Not again.
It's time for your English 2 class.
I'm gonna be absent today.
Absence without Mitsuru-san's express permission will not be tolerated.
No, the class doesn't do roll call. If I pass the final exam, I'll get the credits I need. I've already mastered English anyway.
I've heard that some college classes randomly take roll. One cannot discount the possibility.
With that, Professor? It'll never happen.
You stand out, so your absence will immediately be apparent.
How do I stand out? I'm not dressed for missions today.
In any case, you
I mean, you have a giant
prioritize your
scar
studies.
on the right side of your head, dude. You definitely stand out. Also, you're like super buff. After the case had closed, I went back to college, even though until recently, I had been taking time off to go on my training journey. Though Mitsuru had a hand in getting me to go back. Annoyingly, thankfully, Igus has taken it upon herself to manage my class credits, which has led to situations like this. The moment I go off her radar, she suddenly just shows up out of nowhere and drags me back to class. Attendance, classwork, study groups, assignment submissions, exams. She has total control over my every move. I don't even have time to train anymore.
Stop being so persistent, Igus. I told you I have plans today.
You are the same as always, aren't you? You both stand out a lot.
Kurosawa-san.
Kurosawa-san appears out of the crowd with a resigned expression. Yes, I was here to meet him today. He's currently a detective with the Metropolitan Police Department, and is a trustworthy man who's been helping us in secret. Even now, he caught on to the Public Safety Department's moves before anyone else, and was able to warn us.
I wasn't told that you had class today. Should we postpone?
Oh, no, it's all right. Let go, Igus.
I see. So your plan was to meet with Kurosawa-san?
Yeah. I have something important I need to consult with him on.
That actually seems to be the case for once. I don't have much time to spare either, so why don't you hand him over to me for today, Igus?
If that is the case, then I understand. I will await your report later.
Igus says so politely as she releases my arm and salutes Kurosawa-san. With that, she disappears back into the crowd. I swear, she's been a pest lately on purpose and enjoys seeing my reactions. Oh well, I guess that means she's getting even more human-like.
So, what did you want my help with?
Well, this might be a bit late to ask, but I want to have enough power in the police to protect the others from the outside.
So that's what this is about. Dealing with people from that side of the business is more trouble than fighting shadows sometimes, you know.
Oh, I know. That's why I need power besides what I can do with my fists.
Kurosawa-san smirks in response.
I like the look on your face. That reminds me, you're old enough to drink now, aren't you?
Well, yes.
What's this? You don't like alcohol?
No. Alcohol and protein shakes go surprisingly well
Gosh
together.
darn it, Akihiko.
Drinking with you is going to be tiring for a different reason.
Oh, jeez. Kurosawa-san looks amused for a moment, then turns and walks away. I follow him into the city. That's nice. It's interesting to see Kurosawa-san here. He's definitely playing the, like, pseudo father figure a bit more here than he does in the base game. Although he's, especially in Reload, he's definitely a bit more of a pseudo father figure than he was in the original. In the original, he was just kind of like a guy who was there, who was aware of what was going on and selling us equipment to deal with stuff. But he wasn't like really involved with any of the party members too much. It's only after stuff like this where Reload retroactively adds in more interactions between him and Akihiko. Although I think it was always canonical that he was one of the people who was involved, I think, in the incident where Akihiko's friend accidentally killed someone with a persona. I think that was always a thing, but can't remember. Mitsuru-senpai and I are walking through the city, which has suddenly become filled with summer fashions as the long holiday draws to a close. We've been going out together like this for a while, but when she wears clothes more appropriate for age, Mitsuru-senpai looks even better than models. Heads turn to follow her wherever we go. Mitsuru-senpai doesn't seem fazed by this, though it's more likely that she doesn't have a clue she's standing out. It's a mystery to me how she doesn't notice that. I thought to get the true ending, all I had to do was complete all 3 endings. If that's not the case, that's fine. I think I'm gonna wrap up here once I get through the epilogue either way, and then next week I'll work on the true ending and like let people beat me up in multiplayer for a little bit. And then that'll be good for probably for this game. I'll try out the modes, let people beat me up for like a week or 2, and then we'll go and play something spooky for Halloween-ish time. The only thing that appears to bother her is how she's walking.
I'm not comfortable in these clothes.
Come on, you look good. And you know what they say, when in
She does look
Rome,
good in
do as
them.
the Romans do.
But Doesn't such a frilly skirt interfere with how you walk?
Huh? Senpai, I know you wore a skirt as part of the Gekkoukan High uniform.
A uniform is fine, since it's like battle attire.
Battle attire, huh?
Hey, ladies. How's it going?
Oh, gosh.
Are the two of you looking for a good time? Why don't you join us and have some fun?
Bug off. Nobody asked, dude.
Would you mind getting out of the way? I'm trying to enjoy my day off with my friend.
You tell him, Mitsuru. Oh, again? I mean, yeah, she stands out, but just how many times have we been hit on just today?
Well, if not today, how about another time? Can I get your phone number? Maybe we could go out sometime.
Oh.
The man hitting on us touches my shoulder. This guy either has guts, or he's really slow on the uptake. Either way, this isn't good at all. Mitsuru Senpai's arm flashes out like a snake and grabs the man's wrist.
Mitsuru-senpai, hold on.
Ow! Deserved. Deserved.
I'd prefer it if you kept your hands off my friend. I also believe it to be in your best interests if you left at once.
I'm okay. Geez, you guys better get going.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap! We're sorry!
Wait, did she kick him in the balls for them to be crying all of a sudden? Whatever. The guys who talk to us are scared off by Mitsuru-senpai and they run for their lives. I'm happy that she protected me, but it's like she's seriously turning into an empress. She's the head of a special battle unit with the mission of exterminating shadows. Wonder if that environment is what's making things worse for her after all. I really need to help her have some time to enjoy herself.
Senpai, let's go over there.
I take Mitsuru-senpai's arm and charge into a shopping mall. I'm pretty sure that guys like that won't follow us all the way into a store. After checking out some clothes and other accessories like normal girls in these busy holiday stores, we decide to take a break at a cafe terrace.
That was fun.
You're right.
I relax and enjoy the fun we had, and take another sip of my iced coffee. Yeah, Mitsuru-senpai answered me absent-mindedly, and her tea is left untouched.
Senpai, you promised that you wouldn't think about the other day.
Yukari...
I know that's impossible to keep it from getting to her. After all, this case this time was all because of the Kirijo group's negative legacy. Mitsuru-senpai had taken on the role of the leader of the Kirijo family to atone for her family's past, and yet, after being captured by the enemy, she couldn't take command of the situation. It may only be natural she feels responsible for what happened. But even then, I can't be convinced that she needs to bear the weight of all that by herself.
There are so many people here.
And there she goes again. I came here today thinking about giving her a piece of my mind. She keeps taking responsibility for everything and worrying about things all on her own. Still, I can't bring myself to say anything about it when I see the look on her face. I thought that maybe confronting her emotionally, like I had back then, would lessen the distance between us. That would just be repeating what I'd done before. Oh, during P3, yeah. It'd be sad to have to resort to that again. I mean, we're best friends now, you know? As I'm trying to figure out what to say next, all I hear is the bustle of the busy cafe.
See? It's Feather Pink!
Wow, you're right! It's Reiko Kuchikuen! Hey, Feather Pink! Where are Red and the others?
Huh?
Suddenly, a little boy points at me. Everyone turns around at his shout, and the children walking past make a wide circle around us.
No, you're mistaken. You've got the wrong person.
I hurriedly wave my hands in an attempt to disperse the crowd. Having a role that shows my face can be really inconvenient.
You're quite popular, Yukari. How does it feel to be a hero?
Huh? Well, I guess it's worth it since these kids are really into it.
Death must not be needlessly feared, but it must not be needlessly desired as well. Face it and fight, Featherman. Or so the line goes.
Senpai, why do you know that?
That's the opening line of the intro to Featherman Victory. That catchphrase comes up in every episode of the show.
I may be busy, but I still have time to watch a little television.
What? But why would you watch Featherman of all things?
Why wouldn't I? My best friend is one of the stars.
I
I had never seen such a program before. But it's true. I did sense something from it. I feel that you were trying to help people, especially children, teaching them to avoid bringing harm into their lives.
That's... well, I guess that's how it is.
The protagonists of hero shows don't just punish evil. They protect everyone, those who are precious to them, and give everyone the hope to live. I'm sure that those shows teach a lot of things to children too.
The same goes for Akihiko and Yamagishi, Aiga, Samada, and Iori as well. Every one of us is proceeding down their own path, in their own way.
Yeah, I remember watching like the original like 90s Power Rangers, including that one movie. And I watched a little bit of Power Rangers into the early 2000s. I had a friend who was really into Kamen Rider back in the day, in high school. Why am I hearing the shop music in the background? Can you hear that? Hold on. Underneath the regular music, there's the shop music playing in the background, like the P3 shop music. Like da 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 da. I never felt like da 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 da. Am I going crazy, or did they seriously layer underneath the normal, like walking around town music, the shop music? I guess it's because they're near all these shops, so it's supposed to be like it's coming from one of the shops, but that's funny. I just noticed that. Huh. My, 300 hours of playing Persona 3 coming in handy to notice the song underneath the song. It's weird. It's only playing the, main, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, on, a loop or something.
That's how I can concentrate on my own duties. The trust we've formed will not easily be swayed. Isn't that right?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can't help but sigh. I feel like I've been bested instead, or I've been beaten instead. My best friend believes in me and is watching over me. Well, I should do the same to her. Even though I get the feeling that I got sweet talk somehow.
Yukari, what's the matter?
I guess I've been defeated today. Well, that's fine. Let's go to the next place.
Next place? You want to continue shopping?
Well, I don't have any idea when you'll be able to make time for me again, you know.
What if I promise to contact you every once in a while? Would that do?
It's a deal. But while we're here...
I tug on Mitsuru-senpai and we resume our shopping. I'm not sure why, but I feel as if whatever had been bothering me has disappeared. Oh, we saw, they didn't mention it, but we saw the battle maid in the background carrying some of their luggage. That makes sense. Kikuno? Kikuno? Something like that. I can't remember her name. I'm just bad with names. Even before we could complete the follow-up investigation of the case that Minazuki caused, I was summoned by public safety to the government office building. I would have liked to ignore this meeting, but which is sure to be nothing more than interrogation. But it's better that I go than for them to get their hands on Labras or Minazuki. Also, I want to make sure that no trouble comes to Yukari or Amada's daily lives.
So we recognize your achievement in recovering Labras. Wasn't it your own blunder that led to you, the leader of your organization, being captured?
There are also reports that you involved underage civilians in this matter as well. What do you think your organization is?
If there were people there, then they must have acted on their own to protect their town and their companions. Also, with regard to the members of the auxiliary staff, the emergency suppression unit, they became concerned for me after my disappearance and came after me as individuals. That is all. It is absolutely unrelated to the Shadow Operatives.
You're just playing semantics.
Furthermore, when the second case occurred, the Shadow Operatives were forced to begin an investigation based on a lack of evidence. Since you were the ones who ordered the investigation, I believe you would know whether or not they were able to go on duty or not. Also, even though it may have been merely an intimidation tactic, I received a report that my people were fired upon during the incident. I laughed it off at the time, since it's impossible that this organization could have been so stupid as to send my people into danger unprepared.
You little...
But as you pointed out, it was due to my own lack of preparedness that I was captured by the enemy. I will accept any kind of punishment for that.
The report says that your capture was nothing but a ruse, though?
Excuse me.
What is it? We're in the middle of an inquiry here.
I was ordered to bring these documents the moment they arrived.
The man who enters the room hands a binder full of documents to the man interrogating me. While they're distracted for a moment, the newcomer glances at me. I feel as if I should know the man from somewhere, but what was that all about?
What is this? As you can see, it's the report from our undercover investigation of the Kirijo group.
You fool! These are not the kinds of details we asked for.
This deliberation is temporarily suspended.
Oh, right, yeah,
You will be notified of our further decisions at a later date.
they wanted dirt on Mitsuru, but the person doing the investigation was Naoto, and Naoto's just gonna tell the truth, that they are doing their best, and that they're not doing anything wrong, which is not what they wanted to hear, because they wanted some dirt on Mitsuru to keep her in check. Their sudden sourness makes me think that this case is coming to an end. But to think someone would be able to turn in a report that would instantly suspend an investigation from these sticklers. It would seem that there are some people, even in public safety, who do not respect their higher-ups. Also, that undercover investigation report must have been made by Nato Shirogane. Huh. It seems I'm in her debt. When I leave the conference, I see that the other shadow operatives have gathered.
Mitsuru-san!
What are you all doing here?
These guys insisted on at least
Akiko,
trying
why
to
you're not wearing a
testify
shirt
in person
anymore?
since they failed you on the
Whatever.
mission. I had no choice but to come too.
Seeing that our friend who had gone missing was immediately summoned to the government office on her return, we were worried it was a conspiracy. Indeed, as your friends, it's only natural that we'd rush to your side, because we are your friends.
I guess, why are you speaking with such over-exaggeration? And what are Yukari and Iori even doing here?
Yeah, we were all worried about you. After all, we're all your friends.
The best of friends. Yep, yes sirree.
You realize I won't be able to stick up for you if they come down on you because of this.
It'll be fine. Look, I'm in the middle of a shoot right now.
I'm just out walking Koromaru.
I'm just going out for a run, you know?
You're training, Junpei? You should have told me sooner. I'll come along.
That's okay. I mean, can't you see what we're getting at here?
Seriously, all of you?
I can't help but laugh with amusement. Though this makes me happy as a friend, I have mixed feelings as the leader of the organization. The higher-ups that gave themselves away this time are only the tip of the iceberg. There must be many people in the police and in the political realm who don't think well of the Kirijo group. Those troublemakers will pounce immediately if we even leave the slightest vulnerability unguarded. But even then, the Shadow Operatives will continue to protect and serve. We won't let anyone be forced to be alone. We can create a world where everyone will have the strength to deny the fate of destruction.
Let's go.
Yes!
And we will continue moving towards the future for the sake of granting our wishes. Alright, I feel like that's probably the end of this, right? Yeah. That was good. I liked a lot of the epilogues. I wish they had not front-loaded some of the most emotional ones with the Aegis and Labrys one, because those were, like, really emotional. I wish they had, like, backlogged them towards the end, so I didn't have to get, like, really emotional partway through. But yeah, that was really good. Oh! We'll see if, like, the true ending is unlocked here. I don't think I'll do it today. We'll probably do it next Tuesday, just because it's already been, like, 3.5 hours. And I gotta go eat something. But yeah, that's good. Yeah, we'll finish this out, the story for sure, like the true ending and stuff, probably next Tuesday. And then we can, like, yeah, I can mess around and let myself get beat up multiplayer. I'll have to figure out how we're gonna work the whole, like, if people want to play with me on stream or whatever. I guess keep an eye on the Discord. I'll probably figure that out here soon. It should be fairly easy. There's probably an easier way to do it. But yeah, we'll figure it out here soon. But in the meantime, yeah. But yeah, no, I think that, like, the story of this, I guess we'll talk about that while we wait for the credits to roll through. But I really like the story of Arena. I think that Ultimax's story wasn't quite as good so far. There's still the true ending, I guess, but I don't think that's going to change my opinion on the overall story too much. I think it had some interesting ideas with Ultimax, and, like, there was some good stuff in it, but I don't know. the like overall base story was just not as interesting as the story for Arena. There was some interesting aspects of Ultimax's story, but I think that the original Arenas was more interesting. It is weird that like with this version of the game you have to play the P4 storyline before the P3 storyline. I definitely feel like you should have done that the other way around, especially since apparently the P4 storyline was like DLC. So why are you playing the DLC as your first thing? That's just weird. But yeah, there was some good art and like some good conversations to be had. It is good that they got the voice actors back and like voiced a bunch of stuff. In fact, I believe that this game was the original appearance of Chie's voice actress, or yeah, her new voice actress after the original P4. I also got to see more of Theodore, which, like I said, I did not play with Theodore in Portable the one time I played through it, which I'll probably have to rectify here at some point, but it was interesting to see him, so. Yeah, there was definitely some really cool, like, moments and, like, story beats and, like, conversations and stuff overall in Ultimax, and some good ideas. And show stuff was kind of interesting, but I do feel that like base Arena had a much more interesting story, and like some of the character interactions were a bit more interesting, relating to Labrys and everything. Like it was a little hit or miss with Arena, and the way it was told wasn't great, but there were certain like interactions with characters and like plots with characters that was good. Stuff like with Teddy relating to Labrys about not being human and all that kind of stuff. There was stuff with the kind of like little bit of a budding romance between her and not Ryuji. Was it Ryuji? Oh, with the best friend. The guy. The Junes guy. Like, there was that. That was kind of interesting. I think that the P3 is definitely the more, like, canonical, it feels like, ending to Ultimax, because you see the through line with Labrys continuing from the original Arena game, whereas 4, you don't get that, and it does feel like, almost like now that I look at it, it does feel like the P4 storyline was definitely something that came after this storyline, where it kind of like breezes over some of the plot points that it takes a while to figure out in the P3 storyline and stuff like that. So it makes the choice to have you need to play through the P4 storyline before playing through the P3 storyline very odd. So yeah, I think that
This show was brought to you by these sponsors.
I'm very disappointed that it is sad for me that Labrys' story and like the overall events of everything is locked behind this game, because I feel like a lot of people are not going to ever see it. Yeah, the true ending of Persona episode P4 is now available in story mode. Yep, true ending is unlocked. Okay, so that's interesting. All right. Yeah, and it looks like there's a little bit to go there. There's probably at least one fight. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it up for here today. And then next Tuesday, we'll check that out. I think we'll check out some, like, of the other modes. Like the RPG mode and stuff. We'll check that out next Tuesday along with the true ending or whatever. And then probably Thursday, let people beat me up in multiplayer. And by that point, it should be October. So we might start thinking about, like, what game to play next, and like seeing about maybe playing something around Halloween time. Might do like another week of like letting people beat me up in multiplayer. We'll see how things go. It has already, like I said, been like a month or so. I think it's been like a month and a half since I started playing this game, because I started playing this game around the time I started playing Yakuza 0, and that was a while ago now, because we went all the way through Yakuza 0 while we were playing this, as well as like the DLC. Like by the time we get done with like the Persona 3 Reload DLC, the Episode Aegis DLC, we'll probably be finishing this up. So yeah, it has been a good chunk of time that we spent on this. I think it was worth it, for me at least. The story wise, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I wish there was more gameplay with the story, like the ratio was a bit better, but I enjoyed what I've played of it. I'd like to play a little bit more of the gameplay give that a fair shake, let people beat me up, because I think that'll be fun to do on stream a little bit. And then I think I'll be ready to move on to like some sort of horror game, or something more like that for October. And then I guess we'll think about what to do like in November and December. I'm not quite sure where I want to go after the Halloween thing right now, but who knows, maybe something will come up. Maybe by that point I'll have bought Kiwakami 1 and 2, and we can try playing the first Yakuza game. There's always like, we could always go back and play some more Devil May Cry. I could like spend some time trying to beat the hardest difficulty with that, with Dante Must Die or whatever. I think that would be kind of fun to play on stream. But yeah, there's always more stuff to play. I'm sure we'll find something fun to play. If not, there's fun stuff we can go back and play. But yeah. Oh, anyway, I will see you guys this weekend for, I guess, the end of episode Aegis. See how that goes. Might get to Joker. I don't think we'll beat Joker, but we might try Joker on Sunday. We'll see how long, we'll see how much more of the story we have to go, because we still have to go through the last area, and then there should be a boss, the party member fight stuff, and then there should be the final boss of the game. So there's still a good chunk of stuff left there. Yeah. Anyway, I will hopefully see you this weekend for that. But in case I don't see you, hope you guys all have a good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thanks to everybody lurking and watching back on the VOD. See you guys later.